Cram, yes, he went after Yue and it tempered the farm a little bit, but eventually Yue got to quickly get kills and eventually caught up. But Cram ended up giving up Shutdown, which gave Aurora just a little bit more gold to catch up to SRG. Just a little bit. It wasn't a major swing, but at this point, with the caliber of these two teams, every little detail matters.
Yeah, no, I think people can debate about it, right? I personally think that actually it was cash money, right? Giving over a Shutdown over to UA, sure, it's probably not the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, what did he get rid of it? What did he get rid of? Number one, he got rid of both ults. Number two, he also got rid of the Purify, which could have potentially set up for a later play for Yumes. We gotta be thinking long term here, because even when we look at the draft, right, the Arlet felt very independent, and it felt like Coach Dexter and Master of the Basics looked at him and
It's able to do that, man. Even after going down multiple times, he's got an Oracles, he's got the Fury Hammer, like you mentioned, some tough boots, and then he's got the Ice Shield, pretty much.
not exactly what I thought.
Waves, I mean, even Wave. Oh, Cramp, jumping in, Final Slash gonna be used. Edward, just keeping things here. This is too risky, man. They're so low health. For Light and Demon Kite, what do they want to do here? They're going to heal back up with a Surge of Life. They're going to try to push it in.
I think that was a mistake. Now Cram doesn't have the bravest fighter. He's trying to hold out the waves. Tsunami's time to take him away from the waves. That's a Final Slash that cancels the airstrike. Stormy is trying to defend, but it won't happen. There's too many waves in the base. Aurora Gaming Philippines takes game number 1.
Control. There it is. He takes a bunch of bodies with him.
And that should be the game plan every single time. Because again, it's a very precarious situation when you're trying to play at the edge of the Feathered Airstrike while still mitigating the overall damage. I think that UA played one hell of a game here. And not to mention, Light as well. Great peeler and great eye. Really small details he was picking up. Oh, you shouldn't put a little too early. Tsunami Slam instantly.
But at the end of the day, it's still Doming Kite as our MVP. There's two kinds of MVPs, ladies and gentlemen. Setup and payoff. Doming Kite was the ultimate payoff MVP. He literally picked up everything that everyone set up for. We already mentioned Demon Kite, Yue, Edward, Light, and what, 7-8 minutes? Like, before the last turtle, he was already coming in with lethal blazing duets.
I mean, this is what the condition we laid down for Aurora. As long as you can keep it close so that Domikite has space to farm, that's your dream scenario. And that's exactly what happened with all the trades that they kept forcing, that they were somehow able to get wins. Once that first big blazing duet came in, it became like a harsh wake-up call for SRG of, wait, we did not disrupt this Claude enough. Where's this damage coming from? This early to mid-late game is gone for us. We now have to just keep duking out and try to hope that we win team fights.
Well, but that's the thing, right? As much as Doming was able to get a free lane, he was playing a strong laning phase. He was making mega impact in the back line, making sure that Stormy is always feathered airstriking at the maximum possible distance. All of this was enabled by Demon Kite. Where's he going? Looking to initiate, not only to get on top of this Farsa, but poses the question to specifically Sakai's. Hey, I will pose the question. If you do not initiate, we will get an answer very quickly.
And the initiation from SRG is, how do I say, fragile at best. If you don't get a perfect kick from Yumes, they have to find another way to get at you. They have to find another way to find an initiative and to go into proactive position. And their only secondary way to do that is, I'd argue, with Cram. But Cram is too busy going into the back line, hunting down softies.
And that's why this entire game boils down to, hey, the question is, who needs to initiate? It's never going to be RORA in these cases. It's always going to be SRG because of their draft.
Yeah, and Light eventually read that so well. As much as you'd want to be the one setting the tempo with the Kalea, Tsunami Slam after Tsunami Slam, the surprise initiations with the Tidal Strike, a lot of value from the ultimate of the Kalea in this game came from the fact that if someone decided to reach the back line of Aurora, whether it be Cram, whether it be Yumes, you've just wasted your dash trying to entry while I Tsunami Slam you and you have no way out.
And that's why in that moment, about 2 or 3 frames back, in the Lord Dance, Light was so willing to just show himself. It's because he knows that it's never on me. I just have to wait for y'all to make the mistake of crossing this threshold. Amazing understanding of macro dynamics and the team fighting just back and forth, the give and take. I don't know if these stats are true, but ladies and gentlemen, the matchup between Lunox and Farsa in mid is still, I don't want to even say heavily, it's literally Lunox favored, 0-7.
It hasn't been going too well for Farsa in these types of matches. Again, both scale really, really well. Both have two separate ranges, but one has iframes and can also become a machine gun when the other is just artillery. At the end of the day, SRG is looking to try and go for the takedowns, right? Aim for the knees. RORA just got to judo that weight over to flip them on their back.
Really like sports.
I love it.
Well, I couldn't think of a sports analogy. I'm gonna get you guys
That was
later.
too quick.
Yeah, that was a bit too quick. I was thinking of like, okay, what am I gonna dish out for the next analysis? Sports references. All right, let me write this. Nope, I was way too invested into the analytical point, and now I've completely lost it.
No, I think that's exactly what happened to SRG is they were committed to team fighting because that's, again, at the heart of it all.
Yeah.
Sure, Malaysian MLBB has been influenced by heavy macro, but y'all still like to fight.
We like to fight. We're the in-betweeners between the two, well, I mean, the two big regions of Indonesia who love fighting.
They love fighting.
And PH who likes to take it cool, calm, collected, but there is purpose. Finding a good balance in between the two is why I thought initially maybe SRG was posed very well for the meta, but it seems that RORA, they've broken the ceiling.
Yeah, the difficult thing also with how Aurora decided to draft this, and the lineup that SRG eventually fielded, I didn't have problems with it. It's just that it seems like Aurora was able to prepare the right heroes to deal with the main thing, which is the burst of the Farsa. Farsa tries to burst someone, but you have so many heroes that can survive burst. Yue, even if he gets bursted down, can still get so much value by using Brilliance out and still being able to Chaos Assault. Light will be able to provide the heals. It seems like the only ideal target is if they could completely burst Dominkai down and then majority of the Aurora damage is gone. But then they still have a Lunox to play through.
And that's the thing, they cannot burst Dominkai down. He's so slippery. He has a Purify, he has BMI, and I don't know what the last words were before their coaches left them after the draft, but I'm pretty sure it's, you guys know that we're playing for the counterattack. And that's the play style, that's the principle throughout this whole 16-minute game. I was watching the fight, 10 seconds in, I'm looking at SRG, yo, why is no one dying, right? With all the damage, why is no one dying? And I look at Dominkai, he still has Blazing the Wet. That's how well Aurora understood the dynamic here. And I think SRG should do well to reset going into game number 2 and consider maybe playing a little more to the spectrum of macro.
Well, I don't know, because again, I think the draft was really well done for the side of Aurora, right? Because let's have a little bit of empathy, right? You know, let's put ourselves in the position of this Farsa on Stormy, the mage prodigy. What are you scared of? You're scared of a Blazing Duet. You're scared of a Final Slash. You're also scared of getting Tidal Strike or Tsunami Slam. That's a lot of abilities you have to keep in mind while trying to be able to artillery the backline.
I was the bird.
Oh, so you were very, I was wondering, it's like Farsa doesn't flap.
You're
Wait,
Farsa.
Why am I Farsa? Why can't I'd rather be the bird than, actually no, I'd rather be Farsa, that's fine.
Just
So,
decided.
well, SRG, I feel like this big warning shot. They started off this series with an idea of let's be aggressive. Let's show Aurora that, okay, we mean business. We want to destroy you guys. But they couldn't get that, and Aurora counterpunched perfectly. So now I'm interested to see what will happen for the next few games of the drafts, whether or not SRG will decide to put Innocent out of the fighters and then maybe lean a little bit more towards the marksman as well to be able to carry, or will they still double down on this idea, just refine it a little bit. But before we move on with the games, of course, as always, we want to say thank you to some very special friends of ours that we love so much. We all know M7 would not be possible.
The player's name, right?
Yeah. Yes.
First is View, Club, Marco, Ogwen, Taltizi.
And every single time you've made a play, every single time you've seen a championship go into the hands of these players you see before you, what are they sitting on?
Secret Lab.
He's got it. And not only that, the Titan Evo allows for ergonomic ways to sit on this chair, multiple different comfort zones on it, not to mention the GU leather on top of it. Hey, if you're a sweaty little boy, you don't get to sit on my Secret Lab. I want to make sure that GU leather lasts until the next generation.
It's not just for chasing world championships, it's also for climbing up to Mythic, Mythic Honor even higher, and of course, it's there to elevate your tournament grade. ergonomic support, the very same that again these pros are using on stage.
Yeah, so get yourself a Secret Lab, scan that QR code on the screen right now for a little bit more information, but I've got some information as well that a lot of y'all look really cool in game. Except for the Cyclops SpongeBobs. You guys don't look cool. You guys just look pretty funny. But still, respect to you. I'm just jealous I don't have that SpongeBob skin. But I'm not jealous of the Patrick glue users because I have that myself. And people say I do look like Patrick, which I take as a compliment, not an insult, because he is hella cute. So don't forget, it's available in-game now, and don't miss it. You do get stronger as a glue when you use Patrick. It is scientifically proven.
Women love him. Boys wish they could be just like him. Get your Patrick skin here today.
I don't think Patrick has ever lost on the M7 stage, has he?
He has,
He has, unfortunately.
I guess I'm just blind to the fact that Patrick loses, because in my mind, Patrick wins.
It's the nostalgia. It gets in the way. It's like fog.
Yeah. Did Patrick lose that fight when he fought SpongeBob? With that wrestling fight?
No, where they got buff?
Yeah.
No, they just hugged it out.
All right, it ended up in a draw. Okay, but clearly this is not going to end up in a draw. There can only be one winner here. And in this game number 2, this will set the tempo, because remember, this is only a best of 5, ladies and gentlemen.
It is a best of 5, but I think that the blue side draft right now is kind of getting a little wonky, right? Because again, these are two teams who have elevated both blue side and as well as red side. SRG initially started off with saying, hey, blue side clogged, we've solved that problem, and now the elevation from RORA on the red.
In my opinion, it's less about blue side having trouble. It's more of a blue side having flexes that aren't being used. We've seen a lot of teams in blue play weird and decide to change up where they shouldn't have. Here, I think, in game 1, again, hindsight is 2020, SRG may have decided too hard and did not flex in accordance with the RORA. They let RORA dictate so much from red, which is why now going into game 2, I think it wouldn't hurt if they were in either side. I just want them to make smarter choices.
Hey man, the sheep are only gonna follow the shepherd. They got rid of both the CC alongside with the natural counterpick Sora, which is what we were expecting Innocent to eventually get his hands on. Without those two flexible picks, they really have to just be nurtured into the pen.
So let's see who's going to be taking the blue side, and if that might continue the trend of the a little bit more problematic side in the draft, as the red side seems like low-key they can just determine a little bit more. SRG still sticks with a blue.
That's what I'm saying. They know that they had more choices to make in game 1, and they're saying, we go again.
Okay.
Did they get
Speak to the last one. It's still a Fredrin ban.
I'm thinking whether or not they have to take into consideration getting rid of the Boxia as well, because that Boxia absolutely shut down the Freya.
Yes, just to encapsulate all of our opinions on the box and it going to the Leo Ward in game 1, just avoid the utility matchup.
Yeah.
Force Demon Kite to press buttons better against you. Sekais, you're not a much younger player, but you're a younger dude. I think your fingers are faster.
I don't know. I feel like Boxia is one of those heroes which require you to have a high APM just because you're just spamming it every half a second.
I take that as a compliment. Thank you.
And spam those shields.
I got hundreds of games on Boxia.
If you misstime that shield unity jump, you're screwed, bro.
I feel like I'm 15 again.
Yeah, you should add a TZ to your name when you play Boxia.
Oh,
that's
God.
the next Lancelot.
That's the only way to play this game. Now, Grok getting banned out on the blue side. This is still following towards the general standard we were expecting from blue side bans. On the opposite end, I wonder if Aurora is going to do something similar to what they did yesterday, right? It's a matter of escalation, slight adjustments. If it works, sure, we don't have to fix it, but let's make it a little more complicated. Let's make SRG think a little bit more.
If SRG decides to ban out the Claude here, that could be a big sign that they're going to lean towards the Eve first pick. Or if Aurora don't even ban the Juicin, then SRG will have to think, okay, which one do we get? Do we get the Juicin or the Eve?
Yeah, CC, Jushin, or Eve might be open, or we revert back to the Boxia.
I'm still going to double down on the opinion of SRG should take away the Boxer, though.
So you'd rather have the mid-lane gamble, like just trade that, like, okay, it looks like the gloves are off in mid.
Yeah, trade the mid lane. I mean, both of them already showed that they're willing to trade it out, but again, coming from MPL Philippines, Aurora's Boxer just hits stiff and they do respect it.
There it is.
I like it. I like it a lot. Thank God that Sekais is not looking at coach and saying, sir, give me Boxia. Nope, ban it out.
So, ban the CC here. Go for the Jushin Eve trade.
Yeah.
That's probably their best bet, right?
Yeah.
It's either you leave both open or you ban both. There's no in-betweeners here.
Oh, actually, yeah, Aurora might be leaning a bit more towards with backline heavy static and then Assassin in the jungle because they ban red. Probably already projecting to SRG that we're expecting you to ban the Baksha. So now we're gonna go Assassin.
That is some, I know you know, but what am I?
Yes, do you know we know that they know.
There it is!
They do know!
They do!
Really good call here, but now the first pick is going to be what matters the most. Our two mid laners are wide out in the open. The counter picks towards them might be a little bit all over the place at this point because at the same time, we still have to answer the Claude question.
I'd say Zushin. And the Claude question is still alive, you're right.
Yeah.
Freya Claude Freya. There she is.
There.
Gotta take Jushin.
I really like the Juicin first pick. I know that Eve is a great hero. She's really feared, but I think with the playstyle of SRG, with how Stormy likes to move around the map, that's a little bit more SRG by my books.
Yeah, I'm guessing that this is going to be Eve Claude because if you're giving one or the other is just natural counter matchups to be.
But there's no need to rush the Eve.
Yeah. If they want, they can get greedy with it, get both of your carries. Oh, wait, no, you're not going to go YSS Claude. That's way too greedy.
You go.
Someone win with that.
Claude Kalia? Claude Kalia, Claude Cho,
I like, generally, Kalia, I think I really like. Oh, but what if they took away the hill and then they just go ahead and pick up the Cho? Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm also thinking whether Khalid is going to be an option here, but if they go with the safe opening of Kalia alongside with the Glow, which I'm totally fine with, but SRG, are they still going to go back and revert to that Freya one more time?
Ooh, yeah, that's a really tough call here by SRG. Are you going to have enough crowd control to really chase it? I think if SRG are expecting that Aurora is going to go Assassin, then they take a page out of the Aurora playbook. Pick a Khalid here.
Into the Kalia? Okay, I mean, the Khalid is really good at helping the Jushin kind of move out of the lane, which
Yes.
I'm all for. The question is, what do you pair it with, right? Are you also looking to try and have a deterrent to the real world manipulation that you should be expecting coming out in the following turn, right?
Yeah. So they do get the Freya right away.
They didn't want to risk the whole Freya gets banned, Granger gets banned. Now what do you do, innocent?
Still, they're going to go for the lane mort. So it seems like the only thing that has changed is the mid lane pick. Instead of the Farsa being a bit more static. This time, of course, having the juice in means that your team fight is a little bit more stretched out. You're not relying on making sure that the feathered airstrike hits. And if ever Stormy builds a Sky Piercer, then that's a lot of value for your aggression.
It's a better re-engage.
Yes.
So they're investing more in the what if this fails. SRG, they're iterating. It's not exactly reinventing the wheel from game one, and I think that's a good start because for a good part of game one, they were actually winning.
Yeah, which begs the question, right? Do I want to see Rora play the Farsa, or do I want to play the Eve, or do we just go back to going into Lunox? They're going to take the Eve straight off the bat just to make sure that they can peel for everybody else, but that does mean that they will need some raw burst damage in other departments.
Yeah, is the burst going to be coming through the EXP then? And the jungle? But then a lot of the jungle picks might take time. I mean, they can still go for the Lancelot. We've seen the Lancelot. It's as long as you're not allowing the Leomord to go overboard and you, the roamer in mid, are being aggressive, taking the pressure to the Leomord, then the Lancelot will just have the space to farm. Exactly what we saw in the Team Liquid series earlier against Sonic.
Maybe SRG looking to kind of ban out other jungle heroes, just to kind of put Demon Kite and force him on to a Yi Shin of all things. That way it's like, oh, you don't have a choice. Your presence is pressing one button until you have 3 or 4 items.
If they go YSS, then that's going to take so much time. There's only going to be, say, maybe one miraculous EXP lane pick that can turn things around. That's the Lapu Lapu. Because if you lose early on, then that late game is looking at 14, 15 minutes for Aurora.
Yeah.
Is there room for another Arlen for Edward?
I'm thinking, again, Mr. Consistent is so good on it to the point where I'm like, he can just be independent. He will be fine as an independent player. The Gwyn gets banned out, and this is what I'm expecting from SRG. Get rid of the other junglers. Force him on the Yi Shin.
This is one of those picks that overlap between both Auroras that they played with. Last night, Aurora Turquía. Tonight, Aurora Gaming PH.
Is it a Harley ban next?
You know what?
Yo, what if Demon Guy shows up with a Harley, man?
Not too crazy. That is not too crazy. Again, we're talking about if a usage is too slow, how about a hero that literally just needs like 1 item, 1.5 items, to start bursting fools down?
I don't think it's the worst idea in the world, but I think that RORA is also taking...
Right. I'm glad that we mentioned it, because what if it does happen?
I mean, there's a possibility, don't get me wrong, but at least the Gato gets banned out here. Really, really good stuff from RORA on this second half of the ban.
Joe Gatot ban screams joy pick, but they really shouldn't.
I mean, they can if they want to, because at least with Joy, you can get in and out and kind of run circles around everybody else, except for the Zushin once the stacks are full. So it's one of those things where it's just timely attacks.
Isn't that a little bit more complicated to then handle? I mean, I'm one of the dudes who always look at it as, okay, after analyzing which lineup is simpler, if Aurora go Joy, the SRG lineup is significantly simpler compared to the lineup of Aurora, which means in the big picture, easier to pull off in the team fights and in map control.
Oh, good.
Dang, this is some tough stuff. As much as we talk about the meta, as soon as we start talking about the big regions, and more importantly, as we get closer to the grand finals, the qualification for the grand finals, as a matter of fact, it's so targeted towards your opponent.
With all the theories thrown, not really throwing away all the theories, it's going back to the key theory of it all when it comes to this genre of video game. Whatever they're most comfortable with, we don't want to go up against.
I think this is just gonna revert to like a lapu-lapu.
Yeah.
You can't Uranus. I don't think there's a room Uranus here.
I would have liked the
I don't think it's that bad, because Esme's a lot better here. I think that SRG, because once again, Esme does well into both Lapu alongside with the Uranus. I think it's the most over-encompassing EXP lane.
It wins whatever's left out there. Okay. But this also still doesn't close the door on Harley. Or a Lancelot. You know, those are just safer.
Oh, man.
I think Harley Kite.
Is Harley Kite real? I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Not until I see it up on that screen. That's when I'm gonna believe it.
Brother, more Filipinos are watching this match. If you play Harley here, we're gonna have to deal with that back in our server.
Tonight's RG's ladder is gonna be weird.
Okay. Uranus.
All right, these two picks almost instantly block out the Harley. Yep. Like, all the more they should not do it, but just the same, I'm here for it if they do, because they can just kind of ignore these two big chunky dudes and burst down the softies.
I personally feel like it's actually quite worth going for. You should, like, what are you supposed to do, right? Oh, Fanny! Of course, Fanny, but at the same time, you're already playing into the high loss, and we saw the last time that Fanny showed up. That 1 second makes the difference.
And they did it. It was them who stomped out Fanny.
But we also have to consider, this time around, the Fanny isn't against a Claude, it's with a Claude.
No, the ego pick. This is This is Kite saying, Coach, bigay mo na.
Yeah.
This is for the season in Malaysia.
And they got it. All right.
Coach, give me the Fanny.
Is that ego enough for you to say that you're leaning towards Aurora for this draft?
I'll give the benefit of the doubt to Aurora, sure. You don't do that when you're not sure.
Gideon?
I'm gonna say, knowing and witnessing Demon Kai on this Fanny before, I've got high hopes. I'm going RORA on this one.
All right, let's see if it is going to be going towards RORA to go into match point, leading this 2-0, or will the little adjustments of SRG be enough to turn this into 1-1? Naisu and Mirko, what do you guys think?
I'll tell you what I think, guys. I'm going to have to say, I like the adjustments from SRG here with the lineup. It wasn't too bad from the last one. I feel like the adjustments with the high-lows, bringing the high-lows, for example, was a good switch-up. Now they've got the Uranus as well. What do you feel like, Mirko?
I still feel like Cram on the Lapu Lapu would have been a bit better. It's just he needed to take a chill pill a bit, you know? A few of those shutdowns, a few of those deaths just really felt... okay, the recalls were necessary, super necessary, but the deaths weren't, right? You can have Flare, you just can't give the bounty over to the enemy team. But with the CC that they have on Yums and Stormy, I understand why they just put him on the Uranus. And this time, take a look at that, Innocent. Vengeance on the Freya. Red Tree win for Skies, obviously on the Leo Mord for the lethal.
Okay, take a look at the... hold on.
Wait a second.
Demon Kite.
Oh my god.
Gonna just take this away?
Sneaky, sneaky.
No problem.
He's gonna take it. There's no way for Solano Red Giants to react in time. Demon Kite steals the purple buff.
Oh my goodness. Sakai's knows it too. He's like, that Demon Kite, man. That guy.
What a guy.
Hey, when you can cable on around and move like that, you might as well take advantage of it. I'm pretty sure you're faster than a, well, technically he doesn't have his Phantom Seed yet, so you are faster than him.
That's true.
At least for now. But yeah, that's one of the things is if I remember right, Fanny's win rate was pretty high. There was a time, I know it's been played a couple more times since this, but when it was picked up 4 or 5 times, it was at 100% win rate. I'm not sure if it still is.
I believe it was high in the Swiss stage.
Swiss stage,
Knockout stage, it's been pretty bad. Yeah, because like Han played it in this first match in the Swiss stage and lost. And I believe we saw a few more Fannies losing after that. Even Yuzuke yesterday, against Aurora Gaming Philippines. So Aurora are the ones now on the Fanny. Let's see if they're the ones to make it work. Good stun coming down over on live, but look at Demon Kite. Look at the cables there. Sky's playing with it so well. Heck, I would say Yum's preemptive revitalize there. Didn't really need to use it.
He didn't need to. Maybe just kind of, you know, making sure that better safe than sorry. Right now, they've got control around this turtle, though, so let's see if RORA decides to do anything. Even Kite's not even here, so it looks like they're just going to give it up. He's going to go ahead and prioritize the buff, which he should. Again, the Fanny's definitely needs that.
Yep.
So turtle secured here for SRG.
That's the thing about the Fanny, though, right? You're a good pick if you can get those early kills, then you snowball out of control, and then there's still a possibility that you make a micro mistake, which is very, very believable. Yeah. It's such a difficult hero to pull off in the biggest of stages, and this is it. Skies will not fall for that again. He knows to go for the purple buff before the orange buff. But yeah, I think for Aurora Gaming Philippines, they can take a chill pill. They have a Claude, they have a Eve, and an Esmeralda, so they don't need to be that far ahead. Light's gonna be caught here, and that's a bit more troublesome. Skies bringing you it back, forcing to break around. Demon Kite comes in with a cutthroat, but again, Skies on Barbiel, too tanky.
I like how you're like, they can take a chill pill, and as soon as they're like full sending it into the mid lane, man. You know? But I think it's still kind of just testing the waters here, at least for Demon Kite, to see if he can get some snowball happening on the Fanny. But you know, again, you've only got the Fury Hammer right now. You definitely need to go ahead and scale up. They're still going to play into the whole game plan of let's let Demon Kite get to where he needs to be with the Trinity on this Claude. But I feel like even so, the fact that Innocent ran it back with a Freya, hold on, top side.
Concentration. Yeah, it's a Uranus. It doesn't really matter how much damage you have. In the early game, it's going to be really, really tough if it's a Fanny and an Esme. Though I will say, I think this is a double down by Innocent. Like, he's like, okay, I lost lane, which is pretty unacceptable on a Freya against a Claude, so I'm going to double down and go for vengeance. But, having said that, Doming has gotten all the gold grabs, bro.
Yeah. Doming Kite very comfortable on this Claude pick right now. Looks like SRG wants to put their own pressure. Wow, Doming Kite actually going to be forced out of the jungle on that side. They're going to have to fight for this purple buff.
Yeah, the RBM was used earlier. Now Tsunami Slam blocking Skies down as he pops in a Phantom Steam, but now it goes in! Too much damage for Aurora Gaming Philippines to handle.
Wow, you can't blade and cable and cutthroat through that. When you've got Yums in the way blocking your path, a glorious pathway on top of it, plus a Revitalize, you saw how healthy they were, and then again, you're fighting into a Jushin here. So it's not favorable for Aurora. There was no winning moment for them there, and now for the second turtle of the game, it goes over to SRG, plus a whole ton of gold down in this bottom lane.
There's no way to sugarcoat it nice, too. They got curb stomped in the previous purple buff battle. And it's because of Cram initially going in. Oh, great stun on Demon Kite. But it was because Cram baited out RWM.
Yeah. And this is why the panelists were sharing their sentiments. I mean, even Gideon himself was like, yeah, I'm surprised. Still went with a Fanny, despite a Hylos here, too. Oh, hold on. Light, is he actually going to pull the trigger? There's no way they do.
Wait, they go in, but it's onto Yums right now. Possibly Glorious Pathway under turret. Demon Kite still able to go for the cables out again, but look at the tempo on the map. RORA are forced back. Meanwhile, SRG, yes, they do lose Yums, but they can capitalize on this by taking gold crab for Innocent, by really pushing the tempo even more.
There you go. Innocent getting the gold crab.
Finally.
I didn't think they'd actually pull the trigger on that, but again, when you can Tsunami Slam over the wall, you might as well. And so interesting here. Innocent, Cram, they're on 1 and 2. Stormy also. Look at this pressure once again. Purple buff.
Phantom Steed. This time Light doesn't have the Tsunami Slam, so it's going to be free. Demon Kite, there's no way he walks up, right? Yeah. Skies with the red tree secures the purple buff, and there is no threat of a trade. Turtle's up in 40. Demon Kite can only just go up top and look for farm in the side lane.
This is a feels bad, man, because Skies is like, all right, I'm not letting up anymore. Like, you got that first one, you took it away from me, and now you're not getting any of your buffs, Demon Kite.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. I mean, they're timing it perfectly when that purple buff does come up, and as you all know, you've seen it many times when the Fanny doesn't have the purple buff. it really makes it more difficult for Demon Kai here. Not impossible, but he is starting to fall even further behind. You can see him, he's 2 levels behind Sakai's right now. And that's just it's not a fun place to be, especially when that window of opportunity for a Fanny to approach this kind of composition that SRG has is so low. I mean, look at this. Oh no, they're taking everything. Oh, the orange buff take, the green camp, every single thing, and even Cram earlier denying the minions. Forcing him back away now. Turtle will probably go to Selangor Red Giants, especially after Cram spots the Fanny going top again. It's a cut from Cram. And Skies is already going onto the Turtle right now. Edward getting poked as well. Purple buff will be up, so oh my god, Stormy 2v1! 2v1, Innocent as well, and Thoman Kite just duking it out here, but the Turtle for the taking, they've got full control over it, and that's gonna be 3 for 3 in the Turtles for SRG. I thought Demon Kai might try to pressure that purple buff from SRG, but instead he's like, let me at least get mine, but Glorious Pathway. Again, over on Demon Kai, finds the stun, RDBM in the back, but Innocent is able to jump in with Valkyrie's Descent. Now on to Domeng, who's able to BMI out. That's gonna be the Crimson Beacon from Stormy, now gonna be lifting Edward up, throwing him back into the fray. Everybody following it up, but Edward gets a flicker out. There is just nowhere for you to fight if you're Aurora into that composition. Demon Kai's finally swung around, he's like, well, I'll at least take this purple buff, man. Yeah. At least. But you're seeing it happen here, and I'm not sure how long SRG can maintain this advantage when it comes to the team fights, especially when they're all clumped up, right? You would think this is the best. Oh, you've got an Eve on your side, you've got a Fanny, but you're seeing them. They just don't have enough damage to really kind of get through that pressure that is with this lineup from SRG mid lane. Getting that flicker out. All right. That's it. Really good win there. Phantom Steed for Flicker. But yeah, I think for Selangor Red Giants, they can continue this pace all throughout the game, really. Because Demon Kai, he has a purple buff, but he's going to go in, get stunned up by Yums earlier. And now the falling star move from Edward. Gets a shutdown down. And is Innocent now bobs in, but it's RWM coming down onto you as well. It's still Edward taking for free. Tsunami-san purified out of. And Innocent wants to go for more. Demon Kai gonna go back in, Blazing Duet, but Vengeance to respond to it. Oh, they don't have enough firepower, even with a Blazing Duet from Doming Kite and Demon Kite going on through. You're just seeing how durable this lineup is for SRG, man. They're so tanky. Whole lot of defensive items here across the board as well. And that's just the struggle right now. That's the struggle for RORA Gaming Philippines, and it's gonna be that way for a while. Not only about getting these purple buffs, but getting the scaling that they need. Demon Kite, he's got Retribution. Yep. He's gonna use it. Skies wasn't there, so it's gonna be free. But again, now, who's really gonna burst the Uranus down? It's gonna be Claude, for sure. Yeah. But we are quite far from that, I think. It's gonna be a minute and a half, probably, or at least a while here. I mean, you usually see that with the Claudes anyway. Usually they're able to get the Trinity before the 10-minute mark. Doming Kite should be close. But it's just, even so, like, even if he has those 3 items, if he has a Trinity locked in, it doesn't necessarily mean that they can just turn a fight in their favor. It's going to be difficult for them. That's why earlier you saw the value that Innocent gets on the bench. Whoa! Out. Crimson Beacon just with light walking up there. Innocent still holding the angle. Knows Demon Kite's going to be there. There's going to be a knockup coming in as Demon Kite's able to go for the cables, but he's going to be caught! Oh, clutch! With the cable to actually get away. Sky is already using a Phantom Steed, and now he's going to be back on foot. Oh, Cram! With a dive under tier 2! That was a big move, and they're still going for the Lord. Innocent, Bomb and Vengeance going on to Domeng. Blazing New Weapon goes in through it. Innocent still climbing away against 2 members. Still staying alive for a bit, but gets Void blasted down. Skies goes back on a Phantom Steed, now on Barbiel. It's a free Lord as Cram is still able to dish out some damage up top. Edward all alone, isolated, and taken down by the horse. This Jushin pick is paying dividends in that draft for SRG. Whoa. Oh, are they gonna go for UA? UA? Okay, he's got Flicker, he's gonna be fine, but the turret's gonna fall in the tier 1, and that was just a great fight from SRG, man. Even for Cram, you know, that one we'll accept right there. That is 100% worth. Jump into the turret. Whoa. They got Demon Kite, the fight for the purple, though. Demon Kite, all right, he's got it, but man, dude, even if they have the purple buffs, it is just getting a little dicey here for RORA Gaming Philippines. For this to work, they have so much ground to cover. Now, nearly 6,000 gold behind. It seems like those minor adjustments that were made for this composition from SRG from game 1 are really helping out. Oh no, Doming Kite. Oh man, no damage whatsoever. Glorious Pathway now. Good Falling Star Moon by Edward to stop them from going further. Now it's Demon Kai trying to get a bit more poking, but
again, with Skies and Cram there, especially with Skies on Barbiel, that ain't gonna happen. Domain gets it with a nature, so at least there's that. But right now, the problem is they just don't have enough damage, and now you see why. Domain prioritized with a nature survivability over the corrosion side. Stormy just gets out with the Crimson Beacon, Phantom Steed coming down. Yue having to flicker out of the real world manipulation, canceling in, and now he doesn't have that.
Doesn't have that available. They are going to keep this Holy Defense shield up. There's no re-engage here from Aurora Gaming Philippines. They've just got to kind of buckle in and wait and get to the point where they have the itemization to really turn some of the tides of these fights. Because like you mentioned, Cram's doing a phenomenal job on this Uranus, playing up front, blocking a lot of things for them. And then Yumes as well. Again, there's so much frontal threat. Oh no, Demon Kite.
Stun. Skies with the Phantom Steed, and he gets the kill on Demon Kite. That's what we call the double horse on
That's the
Fanny
horse on
combo.
horse. That's two horses in one, man.
Two horses, one man.
That's man and horse.
But he's technically a half man, half horse, no?
Technically, there's
So that's
it'd be like a human.
we're not good with numbers.
Yes, we're not great with numbers, but you get what we mean, right? That's a whole lot. Now they're gonna have to deal with this push into the base.
Uh-oh, like when it Cram again in the back, that was Stormy picking him up. It's a killing spree for Skies on Barbiel again. Barbiel has crazy stamina, man.
Oh, he's going and going and going, and right now they get what they want, everything they want for SRG, and it just seems like this is almost in that situation. I hate to say it, but it's like, all right, go next for Aurora Gaming Philippines, because there just doesn't seem to be much that they can do. They're literally in the situation where it's like, you're playing for Domenkite. Well, even if Domenkite, now he gets the Corrosive Scythe. So he's delayed with the Trinity by about 3 minutes-ish plus. So that is not where you want to be. Again, he prioritized, right? He prioritized some defense because he had to deal with this, but it still puts them in a really tough position to even contest these objectives.
Exactly, and the initial delay for the corrosion side was already a delay on the power spike. Now you're gonna have to get Melfic Roar before you really start to deal damage, because you need penetration against these dudes, dude. You can't go through Uranus without penetration.
Hey, you need the penetration, all you can get, man. Right now, Lord secured. Not much that Aurora Gaming in Philippines wants to do aside from put Demon Kite on the other side of the map, let him push a little as he can, catch up what he can. Now, you have to go ahead and look at this lineup as they get ready for the base defense, right? Like, what is the actual potential here? Oh, no. Demon Kite, okay, he's just going to cable on out, man.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to get out.
Oh, he gets it. The read on Demon Kite.
Oh, they're all catching up.
Oh my God, everybody on Demon Kite. Now it's 4 dudes on the Fanny.
They just played a relay race with Demon Kite.
Bro, what? What's up with them and Fanny, man?
I mean, they were there with opening arms for Demon Kite, man. That is not where you want to be. And now with 4 members of Aurora Gaming Philippines, they have to defend the base.
Oh my goodness. Cram dealt that much damage on the Claude. Now it's about to set over on Edward. A tag, a big knock. But Domain goes in for the blazing duet that does no damage. Flicker out as well. That's a Tsunami Slam.
Oh, Lord's still going to be worked on. They're still pushing in. They're defending for now, but can they end it?
Oh, Sky's going to go down. Edward's still there. Stormy with the pickup now, but it's getting the all in. And Stormy pops, he gives a big and Yue flickers in. Stormy going down. Oh my goodness. Now it's Steven coming to walk up again. Innocent against everybody. Innocent.
Oh, and they're still coming in. Innocent's going to the full Valkyrie form.
What?
He's still alive.
Oh my goodness, he gets a double Cram now, going in again. That's probably going to be another base turn as Cram is still here alive, and there's no one who can take him down for now but Aurora. How did they defend and get 4 on top of that?
Oh man, Aurora Gaming Philippines somehow defends.
No.
I don't know, man. Some way, somehow.
Dude. It's just so sad. After that play, Demon Kite was like, finally a purple buff. He cables, and there's a small case. Like, damn it, man.
No.
Not even.
See, that's the... There's a benefit and a curse to being Uranus players out there, man. You're tanky as hell.
Yeah.
But the curse is you gotta watch majority of the times your team die. Because you're not dying, you know? It's kind of like having immortality. like, you're gonna see everyone grow old and die. Well, unfortunately, that's the life. Yeah, I know, that's deep, man, you know? But, hey, fighting for the purple. Oh, Yubes.
Yubes. Oh, it's a Yubes. Yubes able to find it now. RWM, they're all fighting for it, but Skies in a flag goes for the flag, and look at the combo. So much AOE. Now with Slight to lose immortality as Demon Cat recalls Slight going down.
And Edward can only dance to the death of the team here. Demon Kite is up, but can 2v5 work?
Edward, he's trying his darn best, but there's 5 on him. Now it's a fatty again, who has to deal with 5 members of Selangor Red Giants. And they wipe Aurora Gaming Philippines out in game number 2. We are level on the board, 1-1.
I gotta say, man, SRG games just keep delivering. I don't know what it is, but I like to see it. 1-1 in the series against Aurora Gaming Philippines, and those minor adjustments that came through from the draft just seemed to, I mean, work so well. There was a minor change here and there, but the execution was great. Not only that, but I do have to say, the fanny picks seemed to just kind of shoot themselves in the foot for Aurora Gaming Philippines. It was almost too easy for Yums to just be like, I'm gonna post up here, I'm gonna stun you, and like we're just gonna go from there. And then they passed around Demon Kai, man. I mean, it was tough to be in.
Yums pulled a KSI, bro. He was straight up, I'm on a horse. Dash, dash, take a look at me.
In the thick of it. We saw him, man.
And he was caught in the thick of it.
He was caught in the thick of it, man. When you're trying to get away from 2 horses, it's just too much to deal with. 2 horses, 2 men, or 1.5 men, whatever it is. This was just SRG's game right here. Just well executed, phenomenal draft for them, and overall, just a game that SRG needed. Let's throw it over to the panel to break down our game 2.
Minor adjustments with major repercussions, and Selangor Red Giants even up the series after Aurora Gaming and SRG battled it out in the first game. Back and forth, back and forth. This time was clearly SRG's playground to shine with. Gotta say, picking up the Fanny, way too difficult to pick Fanny in that kind of lineup.
Okay, I know I didn't say anything, but I told you so. You shouldn't have done that. That was, did I say it? I did. I said it out loud. It's all, that was ego. That was an ego pick, and it might have been too much to expect that it was going to work, especially in the face of a Hylos and the Hylos. That's it. I think the Hylos were the main pain in the side for this Fanny. Demon Kite was playing a different game.
I think there's a little bit more to it than just, you know, the high lows being in his face. Because I mean, I was thinking, all right, yeah, sure, this is the ego pick, but this is Demon Kite of all people. He should be, of all people, he should be the one who's able to kind of get away from it all. So the question is, what was the innate problem? The fact is, he literally had 5 above average members just slapping him across the face. 2 of them hung like a horse, and the other one to block up the back door with Uranus. It's really frustrating to deal with overall when you don't have your own purple buff, and the opposing enemy's purple buff is forever will remain uncontested.
They literally hung around Aurora's backyard, the jungle, and as early as, what, 4 minutes, Demon Kai was already starving. And I know that we brought up the whole argument of, oh, yo, this is a different approach to it because they have a backup carry in the Claude. It didn't really make a difference.
Yeah.
Demon Kai was just as starved. Yes, he was getting away with a little bit more, but that's because, in my opinion, SRG let him. SRG was, yeah, no, we have a Freya. Don't worry about that Claude. Demon Kai will be fine as long as we're starving this Fanny. It's literally a 5v4.
Yeah, and to give Aurora a little bit of credit, it started off with Demon Kai stealing away the purple buff, right?
Yes.
And it was like, okay, that's a right call. But then it just goes to show how SRG sided the lineup was, that despite that trickery that Demon Kai pulled off early on to make sure, saying, yeah, I get your buff, everything is going our way. Wait, why are you going towards my jungle? Get away. He's like, they have nothing to stop them, man. It's just continuously beating down and bearing down on the jungle of Aurora. SRG gave Aurora 0 breathing room here.
A lot of it just comes down to like the way that they lane, and I love the fact that the adjustment coming in from Freya is, hey, give me vengeance, and it's all over. What are you gonna do? You're gonna try and gun me down? We made mistakes in the earlier stages. The vengeance ensures that I live, even if I get hit by the Tsunami Slam, which again, great adjustment, but let's look at our upcoming MVP, because let me tell you about him. SRG has been playing a phenomenal game, but without Cram not only dominating the lane, opening up the map, and just being the plug at the end of that flood, oh my goodness, how do you get past him?
This is his hero. I think more than anyone in recent memory, maybe I'm thinking about Flap, M5 World Champion. Cram is Uranus. This is a hero that's built for what this athlete is really good at, and that is cutting lanes, going deep into your lines, going deep into your base, going deep into your formations, and just being annoying as hell.
Yeah. When Uranus can plug all entry points, it's way too difficult for Fanny to find any opening in the map. Even in those little team fights, Cram can just show up in front of close to Yue, and Demon Kite's wondering, is this still worth it to dive, to try and red tree? I don't think so. I gotta stay back. There's nothing I can do here.
This is literally one of the best heroes to cram your opponents with.
Yeah, no, really, just the penultimate rear end, as some may call it. And I think that, especially when we start looking into the highlights, we just have to keep in mind that shouldn't the heave be the answer to this? I mean, that's the truth, right? Once you have that Wishing Lantern, all of a sudden you lose a lot of that value from that Uranus because you just can't sustain through the poke anymore.
Yeah. But it never got to the point where the damage of Yue was terrifying. He got his Divine Glaive 10 minutes in. That was a Divine Glaive rush. But then as we saw, when you have a high loss with you, when you have the Phantom Steed that you can ride on, once the Glorious Pathway is down, they don't care about formation. They don't care about the poke. They'll be able to regain that health anyway through the team fighting that they have. Cram, of course, with the Consecration and how the Uranus just works with his passives, means he doesn't have to worry about health. He will regain it there in the end.
Yeah, by thinking, oh, the lantern should solve this, the glowing wand, if somebody somewhere built a dominance ice or a halberd, you're still just solving one part of the equation.
Yes.
That's literally just Cram, and I think that's how big of a game changer he was for his team. Again, in game one, he was on that lapu-lapu. If he overextended, it was so hardly punished. Here, if you overextended, I can just flicker out and then Consecration, do it again in 10 seconds.
And that's a really good point, because when we look at a lot of these fights, how exactly is Aurora actually turning it around on these base defenses and then losing the following fight immediately after? A lot of it is just posturing against your opponents. For SRG, with their lineup, they're not exactly like a tank. They're a little bit more flexible at taking those front-to-fronts from any direction in comparison to Aurora, where, I'm sorry, I am a tank. I must be looking at you to gun you down.
Way too tough. It seems like across the board, the adjustments that Selangor Red Giants did end up working for them. Let's take a quick look at Stormy. He didn't even need to build a Sky Piercer. He went full utility here. He realized, you know what, I'm not the cleaner here. We have the Leomord. I'm just gonna play for the utility that I can bring. The anti-heal, the slight slows I can dish out, and then I'm gonna be able to keep myself alive as well. The shield that she can get herself through the Juicin Crimson Beacon, the Spell Vamp through the Ice Queen Wand, and even just rounding out the Clock of Destiny. Something you don't see a lot of Juicins do, but then it was just a little bit of an extra, You thought that they couldn't kill the other four, you also cannot kill the Juicin. It only died once.
It only died once, and because of the Jushin, almost guarantee a battle spell off of your opponent. What are you trying to do? Peel me? No. Good try. I'll lift you up, pull you back into my team, and then Leomore will do the rest to displace you. That's why you saw that Light was not getting into as many positions as he wanted to, mainly because I got to peel for somebody else. My life is a lot less worth it compared to theirs.
Now that we're putting the spotlight back onto Aurora, there is a glaring lack of vision for this draft. Again, that Fanny really demanded so much more control on even their side of the map. So if they did not snowball, this was inevitably going to happen, right? They were going to lose control of the map, they would lose their resources, and they could not check if it's worth going into certain parts of certain fights. That's literally the story. The only clapback that they found was inside their base, almost literally when they were picking SRG out on the defense. So going into game number 3 here, if Aurora want to gain back a bit of the momentum, because again, even if they did win game 1, I hope that they should really consider and reconsider getting a little bit more of free vision. Just heroes that really can check bushes, heroes that can kind of make sure that the coast is clear, because Here, they weren't so sure if they were going to counterattack or be the aggressors.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of the free vision, but I'm gonna go towards the very simple MLBB math here. Maybe a little bit more damage early on, much quicker, would do really well. Theoretically, the Eve is not a bad pick with everything that SRG had, but a part of me is thinking SRG won the trade because it was their decision, juice in or Eve. They said, okay, we'll get the juice in because we know what we're gonna build around it. Well, if you see the juice and you know what's going to be coming at you, I still wish they had considered the Lunox or at least went towards the Lunox. Yes, there's a lot of dive, but we saw in game number 1, all of that dive was managed by the damage output of a Lunox.
Yeah, and I think the Lunox has a little bit more flexibility because RWM, you are a stationary target.
Yes.
The Brilliance, you can play, you be a little tricky with it. You can stick your foot out, hope that maybe they paint you like they're French girls and decide, you know what, I'm gonna take a full step back, gun you down, take you for everything that you're worth, and then send the rest of my squad to clean up.
Interesting decisions by these two teams for their drafts. After everything that we saw, do you think that was a little bit more of a draft? I don't want to say issue, but is it a draft focal point or an execution focal point?
I think it's both draft and something else entirely. It's a principle matchup. It's a dynamics and respecting what both teams bring in. RORA knows SRG is very aggressive. RORA knows that they like to fight. If they find themselves in a position where they can't fight back, that's already a non-starter. So think of how your draft will be able to fight back, and then you're off to a better start than what happened here in game 2.
We're going to talk a little bit more amongst ourselves about what potential drafts can come through, but now it's time to throw it on over to Rose with an interview with Solos. So looking forward to hearing from them.
Hey guys, Rose here, and right now in the M7 arena we have Solos, a former pro player from Malaysia, and of course an MLBB icon from Malaysia. Hi Solos.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good.
How do you feel in this arena in M7?
So far dia punya arena punya scene memang shock, fun. Dia bagi saya dia menarik sebab dia punya ni kan tournament kan. So bagi saya best excited.
That everything's exciting, everything ecstatic, and of course because it is a world championship, everything is just super intense, no, Solos? Now, talking about intensity, how do you feel as a Malaysian seeing that SRG is now playing in the upper bracket finals in M7? Because if we look at it, this is a history in the making. If SRG were to win this match, they are heading to the grand finals. And that's never been done before by a Malaysian team.
So bagi saya macam last time SRG, so dia orang dapat nombor 3 kan. Jadi apa yang saya nampak daripada day 1 sampai ke hari ni, so saya rasa excited sebab saya tengok macam SRG ni boleh break dia orang punya record last time. So kemungkinan besar boleh masuk ke grand final. So kita harap SRG boleh buat yang terbaik
He said that comparing SRG's journey in the M6 last year, he feels that this time around they have what it takes to enter the grand finals. You know what, Solos, compared to before, especially for you, right? You've been in the MLBB ecosystem since potentially even season 1 of MPL MY, right? How do you think the MLBB esports in Malaysia has changed and improved over the years?
So during saya punya scene memang banyak beza Dia bagi saya bukan changes tapi dia ke arah improvement. So compare waktu saya dulu kita tak ada sources yang banyak Compare daripada sekarang dari segi interface UI apa semua dia jadi lebih mudah untuk bermain. So dia boleh main dari usia muda sampai ke tua. Dia mudah untuk main. Jadi bagi saya sumber ataupun resources untuk belajar tu dia banyak. Compare waktu saya memang dia terhad. Ini semua terhad.
Okay, now Solo said he's watched MLBB actually develop into what it is now. He's been playing since MPL MYSG Season 1, and right now we are in the M7 World Championship. Compared to before, there was not much resources available online, and of course the UI and the graphics, everything has changed. But of course it has changed for the better because now everything is practically available at your fingertips. If you want to watch a tutorial, all you have to do is just search it up, right, Solos? It's so much easier now. And of course, is there any shout out to the Malaysian fans watching right now? Because I see in the arena, there's a lot of Malaysians in the venue. But back at home as well, we have a very big M7 watch party. Anything to say to the Malaysians?
So buat fans Malaysia, teruskan bagi sokongan sebab diorang boleh pergi jauh ni. Jadi teruskan bagi sokongan, doa. Yang paling penting sekali, enjoy M7.
All right, Solo say to everybody who's actually watching, don't forget to keep on supporting SRG because he believes they definitely can go for this M7. And of course, don't forget to keep them in your prayers. Thank you very much, Solos. I hear the Malaysians in the arena. And with that, let us enter the third game in this series. Who will take the win? There's only one way to find out.
Great to hear from Solos, and of course, there are a lot of our Malaysian fans in the crowd, so thank you to each and every one of you who flew out here to Indonesia to show your love for Selangor Red Giants. Equally also matching the support of the Filipinos in the crowd as well. But the SRG fans definitely excited about the results of the previous game, so let's go back here now to talking about what to expect potentially for the draft. Real quick, game number 3. Should be a shake-up here, because even though the Claude was really good, I have a feeling that maybe SRG have already read into Claude-centered lineups.
I think that Vengeance is such a deterrent. Because, like, how many times, like, if you really think about it, when can Claude really power through the Vengeance? Little to never, if we're really being honest here. And even with the Trinity build, you could see that Domeng was very hesitant. He noticed his health bar going down a little bit. Because of that Vengeance, he instantly takes the BMI back.
Yeah. So with one piece now to consider for the draft. Mid trio already really good as well for SRG. You know, I feel like we're gonna need a little bit more time to think about this. So in just a moment, we're gonna be thanking some friends. I got really lucky last night, by the way. I just wanted to share.
Really?
Because cards. Yeah, what were you expecting? Yeah, so of course we have our little collaboration through One Play, the official MLBB M Series tournament trading cards came out. Oh, you have a pack. You have a pack.
That I do.
You have a pack. Are we gonna open that pack? Should we open that pack?
Want to count down as I open this pack?
Okay.
All right. Give me a 10 count, sir.
All right, I'll start from 5 because that's all I know. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, what do you pull? What do you pull? What do you pull?
I have here,
Oh,
that is 10 from Zeta, a wild card player. We have, who's this? DFYGZ.
oh, okay.
We have,
Ooh!
that's Zing from CFU.
Okay.
He got that cool treatment, it's foil.
Oh, that's a foil. I didn't get a foil from the ones I pulled. That's cool. Okay.
I think he could have made it to knockouts, just close.
There's no fire.
Hold up.
It'd be funny if we get like a signed card suddenly.
I got Leon Esports Juviana.
Nah.
These are all wild card dudes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty interesting because this is a new way to celebrate esports highlights, man. I mean, the official MLBB M Series tournament trading cards which bring premium design and modern tech together. Available this January. Head to oneplay.com for early access or grab yours and hold a real piece of the M Series legacy.
Yeah, what are the ones that I pulled last night? I got Oheb, I got Kyrie, I got Yue, and I got Kazu. So I'm very happy with the pack I got. I didn't get any foils though. I wonder how rare those are.
Yeah, this is the first foil I'm seeing.
Yeah,
and
even the other packs that we opened in the previous days of the M Series, we did not get a foil.
Ooh, that's very nice. I like the holographic on that one. Again, many more to earn for anybody out there. So please, pick it up while you still can. And honestly, I'm curious if anybody has a full collection yet.
I'm pretty sure someone already just got all the boxes. Or I assume wherever factory they made it, I know I'm pretty sure someone already has it.
22 teams.
22.
With about 7 or 8 players and coaches each. That's a full set, sir.
Oh, do the coaches also have cards?
I mean,
I thought it was like all the players.
For sure it's all the players, but again, you'd have access to them too.
Ooh, all right.
There are team cards.
Okay. By the way, I'm not going to be giving away anything if you give me packs other than my gratitude. So if anyone wants to give me packs, I would appreciate that.
One play, you got our numbers.
Yeah, that would really help me. Okay, let's talk about the draft here. So, we talked about the Claude. Is Freya Knife ever Aurora end up here on the red side again? Actually, no, even in blue side. Whatever side Aurora end up with, should they now consider banning out the Freya?
Personally, I think that it might just be worth it, but then you're left with a different problem. Sure, you don't get the Freya. Oh, CC shows up and same problem, she's gonna take vengeance.
Yeah.
It's still gonna be a bit of a pain to deal with. Personally, I think first things first, we start with, hey, let's quickly go on to the blue side just to get a bit of a scouting analysis of what SRG tends to ban on red side, because that's gonna show a lot of things that they feel is important, and that should be able to kind of smoothen things over for the rest of the series.
I think Aurora can also latch on the idea of not to discredit Demon Kite, and I do not doubt that he can carry with whatever hero that he ends up with. It seems like the best forms of RORA that we've seen, even in MPLPH, is when he plays a little bit more of a backseat role, a facilitator,
A role player.
a role player, so that it's Yue and Domenkite who can actually come in through to the carries. Yes, SRG already acknowledged that by taking away the Baksha, but if they can manipulate the bans in such a way that they'll have a utility hero available for them, or something that isn't a little, that can just help facilitate. Even Lancelot in a way is a facilitator alongside being a carry.
That's what I'm saying. Game 2, that last pick could have really been a Lancelot. I would have even expected Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Like with the burst and the early damaging field control that RORA was rocking, an assassin that was a cleaner would have definitely worked. But now going in dangerous grass, yeah, I think they are once been twice shy from that Fanny.
Oh, look at it. RORA on the blue side, Sora ban, Freya ban, and from SRG, they respond in kind, get rid of the Grok alongside with the Quad.
I love how SRG after the Sora and Freya ban go, yeah, just get rid of the Claude. That's what they want to do. They just want to put it all on Doming and then just build around him. RORA did that last night. Good read by SRG.
You think we're going to end up with like a Harith v Granger, the good old classic?
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because like, what if RORA decides to ban out the CC and say, keep it honest, innocent, we're not playing fighters in the gold lanes anymore, let's just go back to Granger Harith.
Old school rules.
Yeah, there we go!
Yup. Now the question is, SRG, are you comfortable with Yves, and are you more comfortable with Yue going on to Jushin? That's one hell of a trade-off.
Yeah, because I feel like going on the idea that we posed for Aurora with Demon Kite being able to facilitate alongside Yue, then Jushin is not the pick that you'd want to give if you're SRG. And they do ban it out.
This does leave open the Kalia. I think first pick Kalia
I like it.
would be good.
Yeah. Don't need to rush the junglers here. You don't need to fight for the others.
Or do they
Just
look
take
at
the
the Eve?
Yeah.
Or do
Oh,
they go say, like, get the Eve and say, go again. All right.
But my only worry for this is... Wait, Stormy would rather pick up the Farsa over the Lunox, though, correct?
Oh, that one depends.
It really depends on
Yeah, generally I would say Farsa, but this time around we're going to see Sakai's back on the Yi Shin with his 57% win rate, but they're also pairing it up with the Hilda in anticipation that maybe RORA is going to go for an assassin. I don't think they are, if I'm being completely honest.
Baksha and Fred are open.
Yep.
Pick it now.
I would honestly be okay with just picking up the Fred early on. It allows Demon Kite to facilitate, as we mentioned, and then they can just... They already have the Eve, so just go Fredrin Cho or Fredrin... Oh no, they can save the Gatot or the Gatot Hylos or Cho for later.
Baksha, Cho. If you're just super aggressive, like you just really want to stick it to them.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's their turn. They're gonna go Leomord Cho.
There.
Yeah.
Okay. With the Leomord, it's going to be easier to chase down this Yishin Shin overall, but pre-level 4 is going to be annoying because you're expecting Yums to be in your face all the time. Now that you've got your mid lane kind of secured, and more importantly, being able to kind of fight for that priority instantaneously without much damage, then you can start putting the hurt into the Hilda if ever he tries for a second invade.
Okay, down the line, I feel like SRG can slot into Phoveus because Aurora might be leaning towards them picking up the Harith for themselves. It's all very divey, but if you look at the box and all the combos that they can dish out, very good. Oh, so SRG pick it up for themselves. Good block, and now they can ban out the Granger.
And I think that they should. The Granger fits so well into what RORA wants to do. If you take out the Granger, what's left? Carry?
I was like, carry, I'm not going to lie.
That's it. So you ban both.
Unless, and Aurora doesn't even have the room to go for fighters because if they're gonna be Leomord and multiple fighters, yeah, very slow.
I mean, it's not as meta as it used to be, but there's there could be an argument for Moskov, and I think it's an interesting way to play because this could potentially open up saying, hey, maybe Arlo gets passed through into the EXP lane, and now you have one more addition of CC to help out Edward.
I was actually thinking that maybe SRG would want to ban the Esmeralda because they can still slot in an Esmeralda gold, but they read it. So yeah, I think I'm a little bit more on the Moskov boat now. That might end up becoming the pick for Aurora later on.
It looks like it's the only one left. What else has Doming Kite played?
Looking at the gold, Freya's already been banned out. No more CC. Sora also gone in terms of the best ones. I don't think they're gonna fighter. Yeah.
Claude, Granger, Freya, Harith, Carry. That's it.
Yeah, and they're gonna need basic attack. I don't want them to even consider something like a Lunox to go to deal with a Harith. You don't need to do that. Just play it safe, play it slow. You already have a Leomord, Cho, and Eve anyway to bridge you to the late game.
I like this a lot from Coach Arcadia because now he's taking advantage for the fact that he gets the ban first in the second phase. So he proposes the question, Esme, instantly getting a response from Rora saying, we have to get rid of the Uranus.
Yeah.
Now, what we're left with, no more sandbags in the side lanes. This is going to end up being Lapu Lapu. This is going to be potential Yuzong as well. Something a little bit more fight-oriented for both Edward alongside with Cram and with the Lunox ban as well.
Yep.
Wow.
Even the compromised pick he would rather not deal with.
Yeah.
So he's saying, hey, Carry, take it or leave it.
Carry, Granger, pick.
Yeah, the Granger was left open.
So Carry, Granger, take it or leave it.
Yeah, they decided to play into it.
Why are they letting the Granger through? Is this a telegraphed Yuzhong?
I'm thinking, yeah, maybe, because what if... I mean, Hilda's already most likely going into the Rome. I mean, most Hildas in M7 did go into the Rome. The ban of the low Yi.
Really good stuff, really good stuff. I thought maybe that might slip through the draft for SRG side, but now I think this is a little bit of a compromise, right? What are they going to do at this stage of the game? With Hilda on your side, and there's not a lot of like mid laners who are self-sustaining when you're facing off against Eve Cho, you're going to lose mid priority almost straight away.
If Aurora really want to focus on their box team fighting theory and then just play it slow in terms of managing the lanes, they can pick up a glue depending on the matchup. The XP lane is already shown here. So you'll have a glue and then you round it out with a Granger. I mean, theoretically with the Eve, you're going up against a Harith. It makes sense, but that's only if you see the matchup. Because if you blind glue, it might be really tough.
Zetian.
Vision. There's so much vision.
I mean, double the vision, double the fun, am I right? But
yeah, they see everything.
And it's not like SRG is denying Rora. Rora's making their picks here with full freedom.
Yeah.
They're just not investing in it as much as SRG.
This is a really interesting draft, right? Because again, you would have imagined that they're looking for multiple win conditions. And right now, the two clear win conditions for SRG is going to be Yishin Shin alongside with the Harith. The Yushin is interesting because her passive, super useful at actually denying light entryways with a third hit of the G Kundo because it knocks him back, so he's not going to find the angle.
They do get the Granger and they get the Lapu Lapu, so they get the instant impact right away, and Edward gets one of the iconic heroes for Filipino EXP laners.
This is Aurora playing an old meta lineup featuring Leomord.
Yeah. It's like if that was a Lancelot, you just said, hey, you mistyped Lancelot, and Leomord eventually became the pick.
Or a Fredrin.
Yeah.
I like that buff guy. What, the horse guy?
Oh yeah, Leomord.
Both of which fits. I think here, blue? Probably. I mean, it feels weird if you go into the Yuzhong because now it's like, now we have a potential coin flip that we have to worry about. Alice, even more of a sandbag. It's still looking towards that team fight.
Next year, Uranus.
Oh, this is gonna be a tough one for Aurora. I give it to them though. The lineup does have the possibility of suddenly spiking up when Domikite gets the stacks on the Sky Piercer. But this is the thing you always have to watch out with an Alice though. It might get to the point where you just can't deal with it.
Well, just a little bit of, anti-regeneration is gonna go a long way, but I think right now SRG, their composition requires a lot of economy, which is why I'm leaning more towards RORA.
Leo?
Damage profile, I like Rora's more. This is not optimistic. This is actually just brass tacks we're talking.
So let's see if Aurora can actually push this to 2-1 for them. Or will SRG be the first one to go to match a point? Welcome to game number 3. The series has been great so far. SRG has delivered bangers, so has Aurora, and I'm sure that we're going to have fun. Nice, Miracle, let's go.
We are going, and I'll tell you what, this is dangerous grass. This is a dangerous lineup, man. I would say from SRG. I like what they did. They got the Hilda. They've got a couple of grounds covered. Whoa! That's what I'm.
Oh my
That's what I'm
God.
saying. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is dangerous. You walk in, you never know. There's a sneaky Hilda in the bush, but the fact that they also got the regen means Yue will go down to Stormy. You have to respect the 100% win rate. Since Yue's regen was popped, he should have recalled, dude.
Dude, that's dangerous range too. That was what I was gonna get. I mean, look at.
Oh my goodness, dude. Light, don't stay. Please go home. Okay.
Yes, Light. That range from Zetian is pretty crazy. This is what we all experience now, especially on the buff. That technically. What do you do? Like, how do you lane? Why are you lane against that?
Maybe don't walk into the bush against a Hilda first level 1, and then recall after your regen gets popped, right? Like, there are 2 steps before that, or before we get to this position. But now that we're here, yeah, I don't know how they're gonna lane against the Zetian, dude. We were talking about instant prio, but if you get poked that much, there is no instant prio here for the Cho and the Eve.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, dude.
I mean, on top of it, like Gideon mentioned, you know, during the draft, one of the great things about the Zetian is you have that passive built in to kind of, oh man, it just looks like they're playing range everywhere. Oh, okay.
For a second, I thought he had flicker because, damn, he's going in aggressive.
That's why I was saying this lineup is dangerous in itself, because SRG is able to go ahead and capitalize on a lot of that. And not to mention the amount of vision that this lineup gives them too. So what this means for RORA Gaming Philippines is that they have to choose their windows of opportunity very crucially. They got to be on point with it. They've got to be able to make it work. But because this early game pressure was already put onto them, they're not going to be able to contest this first turtle, as it's already secured up by SRG. And here comes the pressure in the jungle. Edward?
Stole away the purple buff. Light goes in for Jikudo, but Stormy's able to flick around, and he gets the kill too. Now throwing a ruin onto nothing but they won already.
Nothing but air right now, Cram, though. He's going to wait for the Gleam to come up. You know, but that's the thing. That's what I was saying. Light goes in. He doesn't have a level 4 yet. Didn't burn the flicker either, but he just got destroyed as soon as he went forward. So, you know, one of those things that RORA Gaming Philippines, I don't know, Yums, is he going to go for Domikite?
Yup, he wants to go for it. Oh my god, the Secret Vision as well! A flicker around as Light goes in with Jikundo, but there's no way the Dragon now needs to be caught in the Zaman Force. Even coming to the steed, Yums able to flicker out of safety, but Innocent's now going to be caught all alone. Pops in a Purify, and now gets shredded back.
Oh, Innocent. What? Not going to be able to get away. Almost did. Light will take that kill secured for RORA Gaming Philippines. So at least able to find something on the map here. They've been struggling. Oh, there it is.
Jikundo flicker. That's Light giving the kill over to Domenkai. And finally, he has some space to breathe, dude. He's already 2 levels down on Innocent.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Is Domenkai going to be able to get away? Okay. Very close.
Oh my god. They don't want to stop, guys! Shoots Domenkai down with the arrow.
Domenkai's just let me play, guys. I'm trying to get out of here. He had so much attention towards his lane, but that's exactly what you need to do if you're SRG. Put the pressure on Domenkai or elsewhere, because you have so many opportunities to be able to do that. You've got so much vision to play into. So now, with this bit of a lead that they built up, Turtle's going to be up at about 15, and they'll be in a good position for that. And, you know, RORA Gaming Philippines has to kind of go back to the drawing board with this lineup and just kind of slow down. Part of this lineup is allowing that scalability to happen because they're losing the range battle. A lot of this is because, you know, you have to rely on the Cho. Now that you're around level 4, you have a little bit of protection, of course, with UA's RWM. But they want to go and contest this turtle.
Look at the poke. Before the fight even starts, Light is already down to a quarter of health as Cram holds on to the turtle. Now Phantom Steed coming down for Demonkai, but it's going to be Cram zoning him away with the help of Yums. Bravest fighter from Edward. Doesn't get it down. Fury of the Phoenix, though. Yums doing a ruin on Demonkai!
Oh, that was a great take. Domenkai and UA are here to set up. Yums might be able to actually get away still. Light goes under the safety of the turret, but second turtle goes in the hands of SRG. Oh no, this is tough. I don't think they're just forcing them to take the long route, man.
Yeah, Yums wants to stop the recall again, and he does. Light has to move. That was a feint from Yums. He didn't even know.
It's a dangerous Hilda, man. I'm telling you. Like,
it's the most annoying Hilda I've ever seen.
It's the way it's meant to be played. Yums is doing great work here, being a threat, especially on those you know, those spaces around the jungle where Demon Kite is trying to go ahead and try to get some vision or contest these objectives, but Youm's providing so much information to SRG's lineup just kind of gives them an easy time to take objectives, and honestly, that's probably how the next Turtle's gonna go as well. Aurora Gaming Philippines, in the meantime, have to go ahead and play into pick off potential. The problem with that is, like I said, who are you gonna pick off? Well, most of the time, you're gonna have to try to make a play either in the gold lane, because trying to find out either Youm's or Stormy and get through that passive is hard enough. So that's why Light has to just kind of protect Dominkite and pick off Innocent if you can, but then you also have a Purify there.
So that's the rapid boots for Dominkite, and he actually went Hunter Strike. So no Sky Piercer yet, and it makes sense. Demon, oh my lord, that is a tilter. Phantom Steed used after, what, 2 shots and a Mountain Shocker. Innocent in the bottom lane winning hard in this matchup as well. This ain't looking good for the Northern Lights.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying, man. You're losing on all fronts right now if you're Aurora Gaming Philippines, and you know, you kind of see it in the way that they're moving around the map, some of the decisions that they're making, and SRG knows to continue to put the pressure where they can. Demon Kite isn't falling too far behind in terms of levels or anything, but it's more so of, you know, what can this lineup actually do at this portion of the game, and it's just not too much yet. So it's kind of more of a survival strategy for Aurora right now. This last Turtle of the game's coming up. So like our Red Giants will go ahead and swing on forward. It looks like Aurora still wants to go ahead and show face here, but Dominkite less than half health.
Yep.
It'll be really hard to pull off.
Youm's is 1v1ing there. Light, oh, he goes for the way of the dragon early with Zikuno as well, but he couldn't find it. Now with the throw in the ruin and the Fury of the Peaks, Demonkite zone. Youm's again giving it as the kill. At least they're able to pick up a kill back on Skies, but Demonkite zone completely away.
Zoned away, and Edward falls in exchange. That Turtle's gonna be there to take Demonkite and Light trying to get away, but Cram and Youm's are there, and Demonkite falls for the second time in the game as a third Turtle is secured for SRG.
The Red Giants are just stomping through Aurora Gaming Philippines. Skies died there, and still, they weren't able to win it out. Innocent, perfect Turtle. Light goes in, wants to go for the Jikuno, but he has to remember Stormy has the passive, and Youm's is right there. Dominkite to walk in, man! Hilda going for the damage again. Stormy able to survive! And now it's Light going in. He has, enough damage. Stormy will fall. Light gonna be taken low, and he actually does get away. But man, for the price of Dominkite, and now he dies as well.
Oh, Light's trying to run, but Youm's is locked on target, and Light will survive. But yes, they lost Dominkite for Stormy. And Dominkite is who Aurora Gaming Philippines has to kind of rely on to have a chance in the late game here. Right now, you're looking at, man, look at the difference in the gold lane.
Naisu, it's becoming a problem now. Why? Because look at Dominkite. You know Sky Piercer. He's like, yeah, nah, that ain't working. I need more damage right now because if I don't farm, I won't even have enough bullets to get those executions.
Yeah. I don't know if we're going to see a Sky Piercer at all. If we do, maybe
probably, yeah.
Second to last item or last item, if somehow Aurora Philippines gets control of this game. But right now, from the start, it has been no control at all. They've just kind of, they're on the roller coaster of SRG, and they've just buckled in, basically. Like, it's really difficult to make this composition work because of just what is provided with the range, the vision, and everything else like we mentioned for SRG. So for Aurora, they're almost in this moment where it's like, all right, Dominkite will protect you with everything we have, you know, and hopefully that Granger will scale up. Same thing with Eve. I mean, Eve can also scale up pretty well. We've seen some great Eve RWMs change the tide of these games or team fights. But so far, there's been no chance around objectives, and this Lord's coming up at 10. They have no turrets on the map. They're absolutely...
Hellcurt, what?
Whoa! I didn't know we had a Hellcurt.
Dark Knight Falls.
Oh, hold on.
This could be.
This could be.
The Undertaker? I don't know. What else? What else can we hint at when it comes to this, you know?
All right.
Hey! Don't you worry, folks. This is what we call...
What do we call this?
Sometimes you just gotta go blank.
Sometimes you gotta
just
blank.
the way the screen went. Oh, Innocent.
Innocent. Wonder what he's doing.
Look at those fingers, man. He's going in. He
looks like he's
tapping on the Harith.
That's definitely a Sound 4 somewhere.
You know, how's life?
How's the life going, you know? Oh, wait.
Lord slain by someone.
Who got the Lord? I don't know if they're... Well, you know what? We can just take a breather here, man.
We can take a breather.
I don't think the players are.
Okay, they're smiling, so it should be Selangor Red Giants.
Yeah. Selangor Red Giants must have the Lord. Okay, so
Okay. And it seems like Selangor Red Giants is going to go through it. I don't know, 5,000 gold lead before
that
we
happened.
went to the Hellcurt Ultimate Dark Knight Falls. Someone turn on a torch on the phones, you know, because like usually that's how you.
Come on, we can make something happen here. Right now, I mean, they're still in the game, so.
Lights looking at.
Yeah. Based on this, it looks like Aurora's on the defense. Like, they're going to have to defend here. If that really was that Lord secured, Mirko, I mean, this is tough to really see what's going on, but.
Yep. Trying to find out what's going on right now.
Okay, yeah, we see the items. Gold, but that's about it, man. The Lord went to SRG, it looks like.
Does look like Dominkind is actually, going to ignore the Sky Piercer completely, by the way. He goes straight for the Sea Halberd after the Milfig Roar. So it's really all about putting in more damage here to deal with Selangor Red Giants'
UA is dead right now. It looks like they traded somehow. Yums and Innocent are dead, from what we can at least see here. And again, we're kind of looking behind us, guys, and unfortunately, we're gonna have to
dead
wait.
too.
Yeah, for this the technical difficulties to get set up here because Yums is up. There's Innocent. Everybody's back up. I'm not sure. They must have just cleared the Lord out, man. I'm assuming. I'm assuming they got the Lord cleared. They probably had a base defense.
Aurora just used all their ultimates. They're going to go in, I think.
They must be
Big fight ensues.
You know, I almost wish we had game sounds too, so we could. Unfortunately, we don't have game sounds either, guys, right now. So
please be patient with us, boys. We're working through this right now. We got a technical issue.
All right, some items.
Oh, we back.
We have a transition here.
We got the fans in the building.
Well, are the players still playing? I mean, behind us, we lost the information that we had.
Okay.
They are still playing, man. Can we get a camera behind the players?
And we understand what Doming, like, expression-wise. How do you play Granger when you get? We're back, folks.
We're going back to the game, and ladies and gentlemen, thanks for being patient. Here we go.
We're back.
13 minutes in. Where are we here? Okay.
12 minutes in, about to be 13. Lord was already taken earlier. No baser is taken, but the top side baser is already really low. And SRG still have a 6,000 gold lead, so they built 1K over the course of the few minutes we were gone.
All right. Lord is up. SRG still in control. Nothing changed. I mean, that was quite the long ultimate from Hellcurt. That's not even in the game, but hey, we're back. RORA seems to somehow defend their base turrets at least, but now they're going to have to do it again with Lord security here for SRG. So we'll see. I don't know if they bought enough time, man, because, you know, part of this was, where's the scaling for Dome and Kite? Is he going to be able to catch up? It looks like he did pick up the Sky Piercer, though. So after he went the Hunter Strike, Sea Halberd, and
fifth
item, he goes the Sky Piercer. And if they hold on long enough, maybe that Sky Piercer, once it gets some stacks, might be able to change some of these fights.
See, the thing I would love to see right now is Doming Kite's actual stacks. Not the Sky Piercer stacks, but how many bullets he has, because the way Selangor Red Giants have been playing the entire game, it really feels like they've already taken out the biggest threat of a Granger in the late game, which is the scaling. He's died 3 times. He was denied so much gold. He's 2 levels down on enemy gold lane.
We'll see if this actually plays a part. They're going to be able to clear out their mid lane, but they still have to deal with the Lord up top.
Yeah, they're going to crack this open now with the help of the Lord charge. And that's about it for now. Aurora Gaming Philippines did a good job clearing out mid and bot, and now for SRG, they're going to have to wait for the next waves to come through. Lord will be cleared for free. Dominkai getting those stacks. You can already see them trying to funnel as much of those stacks to Doming.
Mid-wave push, Dominant Force drop down. They're going to initiate here. It looks like Edward taking a brunt of the damage, but they'll clear out the waves and maintain the mid-base turret. So Aurora Gaming Philippines, despite being down 7,000 gold, SRG still respecting what the potential could be there. We've seen it before where you fumble a 7,000 gold lead or 10,000 gold lead and things turn around. So right now they want to take the discipline route, keep it safe if they can, but it looks like Mount Sharker is going to be used. And still, it's just Aurora Gaming trying to scrap up what they can. And Antique Karass now picked up for Light. Maybe going to make his, maybe it'll allow him to stay alive a little bit longer once he's trying to get those kicks off. But also there's a whole lot of now magic damage and penetration that SRG is able to utilize because of the fact that you have the Divine Glaives to worry about, and even that Holy Crystal Divine Glaive over here for the rest of the lineup. Now a little bit more defensiveness for SRG as well.
Let's take a look at the items here. Okay, so Innocent's already fully built up as well, and somehow, again, Domenkite, it's through those waves and the lures that they were given that they are able to actually climb back up, because I think it was a bigger lead earlier for Innocent, probably because he also died. So he's building towards that last item, and I don't know if that's Blood Wings? I assume it is Blood Wings.
Blood Wings. Yeah, maybe potentially Blood Wings. Not sure what else he would want to go here on the Harith. But nonetheless, you got quite a bit of scaling. I mean, even looking at Cram, he's got a Guardian Helm plus the Ice Queen Wand to go ahead and help slow down the members of RORA Gaming Philippines once he jumps on in. He's tanky enough to just soak up a lot of damage. So this Alice might be a problem. That's why Light's job right now is pretty difficult. You know, he's got to be able to go ahead and find a way, not just to find a way, but also provide the information that's needed here, because we're seeing how difficult it is for Demon Kite as well to make use of this leaderboard, who's been such a strong hero pick throughout the M7 World Championship right now, but it looks like they want to go ahead potentially contest this if they can find the angle they're looking for. Lights swinging on around.
Whoa.
It's going to be a reset on the Lord, though.
Yeah, look at Yums. RORA trying to get control over the Lord. They're actually going to be able to take the aggro, but Yums gets a really good flank here in the behind. That's the amount of shots coming down, and Yums has a position on Domenkite. Fear the Phoenix coming down, and it's the Skies Mountain Shocker!
Domenkite is gone in an instant, and now RORA's on the run. But with those 2 kills as Yue fell as well, SRG gives the call. They want to push down the bottom lane.
That's the problem when you play a clean front to back. Yums doesn't care, and he cancels out the recall of Demonkite. What a read by Yums! And there's no way Demonkite can go for the 1v1 here. It's gonna be Innocent jumping into Zaman Force over on Edward. He's trying to buy some time. Light doing a good job at forcing the minions to the mid-turn, but he will fall.
Oh, they clear out the minions so they stay a little bit longer. Demonkite still be a chase down, and he just wants to buy enough time. You have Edward still alive, but can he delay this further?
Now it's Innocent again. Zaman Force coming down. Edward already used the Bravest Spider. He's going to go down. And Selangor Red Giants are a game away from etching their names, their region, into the history books.
SRG came out swinging once again in this Game 3 against Aurora Gaming Philippines, and they made it look so good. Just a great performance. Again, synergy as well on display here from SRG. And you can see the faces here of Aurora. They have a lot to consider with this one. From start to finish, just was not the way that they wanted to make things happen. And you gotta say, man, this was a composition, a draft, great things there, especially from Coach Arcadia to make this draft work. The range aspect of this and that dangerousness, as I like to call it, on dangerous grass, was so good here on display from minute 30 seconds into the game. And we look at the highlights through this, I mean, they just had full control and took what they wanted.
It's so beautiful because Yum started that off with the Power of Wilderness, and then they chained it together so well with the Fury of the Phoenix, and then Sky's Mountain Shocker, the nail in the coffin for Domenkite and for Aurora in Game 3.
Such a great performance here once again from SRG. We got to go ahead and throw it over to the panel to break down this game because there was a whole lot here that happened, and especially what we didn't see and what we did see. Let's throw it to the panel.
Again, what we did see is that SRG had all the vision in the world to work with. The Yi Sun-Shin, the Zetian, and of course Yums being relentless with reading the rotations of Aurora. There's a cruel irony to it. It was a Zetian picked up by Aurora Turkey that helped deliver the major win for them in the beginning of their series against SRG. Now it's Stormy on a Zetian delivering a crucial victory for SRG. They now go to match point with a Zetian.
That's what I was saying earlier before this match even began. All the learnings that SRG needed, they took from last night, the hard-fought 5-game series against Aurora Turkey. Taught them a few things, and I was smelling it. There was something else besides the overabundant amount of vision. The reasoning as to why they were willing to give RORA the Granger and the carry was because they were planning for this all along. We're in dangerous grass. The Hilda is naturally going to be jumping into your face.
Yep.
They have the Zetian. They can set up these long fought initiations from the Alice. And not to mention the Harrods. They were going to rotate towards the Harrods lane very early on.
I don't know, but I think I speak for a majority of RORA fans out there. I call espionage. I think that something is wrong here because, again, the vision is good, and I agree that the Dangerous Grass has not been RORA's favorite map because there's too many times where most of us would say, hey, that's a miscommunication. They literally couldn't see some people, and that's very frustrating to deal with, especially when you have a quote-unquote global vision composition on the opposite end.
Yeah. I feel like the Eve is just not working out for Aurora, mainly because SRG are willing to play into it. They really don't mind. The two games that we've seen Aurora play that Eve, SRG knew what to do, especially with the initial trade. Everything began, I feel like, because of the initial trade in the center when we started seeing the Cho and the Eve just struggle to handle the lane against the Zetian. The little missed time of Light deciding to go elsewhere, of course, can't blame him for that, but Humes waiting in the bush, jumping onto Yue, bringing that Eve down low, and then meaning that Stormy just dictates the tempo of the mid-trade.
That's the thing. I really believe that, especially at this level, there's a lot of feints. There's a lot of expectations when you start walking into your lane. Consider this. Consider that there's already a Hilda on the opposite side. What's more likely to happen? That you would spot Hilda out in the river checking either maybe the orange, maybe the purple buff, or is he going to show up in the lane? That's the 50-50 risk that he takes when he walks up into these bushes. Although I will admit, RORA didn't do their due diligence. They should have void blasted into one of those bushes to kind of give you a rough idea of what was going to happen. But besides that, it then devolved into something else. Edward left on an island by himself. A majority of the fights happening towards the gold side of the map. And even then, Domeng got zero action of that gold.
I think the whole situation that SRG put Aurora into exacerbated the fact that there's no vision. Multiple times in this game, these players, these very talented athletes from MPL Philippines, in their own environments, relish in the fact that it's very macrocentric. Here, they have to always think of, oh wait, SRG might be in these random corners, they want to fight, and then that kind of just melds into the background, and they forget, now, oh, I have to watch out. Remember that little bush down bottom near the turtle where Dominic just randomly walked in, like, oh no, there's dudes in here. That happened like twice. And that's twice too many times.
Of course, gotta acknowledge, and of course, we apologize for the technical issue encountered during the third game of Selangor Red Giants versus Aurora Gaming Philippines that went on for about 3 minutes. Rest assured, the tournament integrity was maintained and the game was played fairly. As you could hear with our calls earlier on, the game continued, the players were still playing, and what happened from our vision did not affect what happened in game. Thank you, each and every one of you, for sticking with us. We appreciate your patience. Again, we humbly apologize for that. We can now continue talking a little bit more about what happened in this game with what we did get to see. The first floor did go to Selangor Red Giants, but even with the 3 minutes missing, we already got a very clear picture of what happened. Before that moment, the first 8 minutes, it was a clear story of the mid lane trade was not handled well enough by Aurora, and that eventually bled into the rest of the map falling apart. They did get a pick off onto Innocent early on, but also Innocent did a damn good job of beating the Domikite in lane, straight up with that Harith.
Oh yeah, no, it was not even fair at a certain point. I think he won straight up at level 2 when we first saw the initial, forthcoming of the Hilda coming in from Yumes, who I hope is going to be the MVP of this game because my goodness, does he grind these professional players' gears to bones and dust. Unfortunately, a lot of recalls were called. Well, honestly, I do feel that RORA should have recalled a lot earlier in a lot of these moments, but that's why there's a lot of feinting involved. There's a lot of, do I really know that something's going to happen? Not really, but we'll probe the response first.
Which is hard to watch if you're used to seeing them play in MPL Philippines and you know that these players should know better. Because in game 2, all right, SRG's first win, it's clear that Fanny. They serve it up to the Fanny, right? The mistake was clear. You can point it out. Here in game 2, their second win in game 3, you can still kind of do that. You can say, oh, you were lacking this. The Zetian answered that. You made a mistake here and there. but where does it end? And where does RORA find their way back in? Because SRG are now counting their chips saying, all right, I think this is enough. We can go all in on game 4 and end it now.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because I think the end-all, be-all is the outmaneuverability that we've seen throughout these past couple of games. Why are they winning? Every single time, it just comes down, they have one of the strongest mid laners in existence in the meta so far on this eve, but they always somehow get behind him.
Yeah.
Once again, game number 2, we saw that Barbiel, with the help of Sakai's, get right onto the RWM at the crucial moment. Same here, except even better now that you have Zetian, as well as the Yishinshin, giving you vision to guarantee, hey, they have no idea we're here at all. Let's punish it.
Yeah, going back to the idea that we presented in the very first opening panel that we had yesterday, this metagame demands perfection. You slip up on one thing, it crumbles the rest of your game plan. Everything else becomes so much harder, which is why yesterday, and for the longest time, we've been putting so much importance in the mid-trio trading. How Roam and mid handle their lanes, play around their shrubs. It's important. You slip up and then you lose, especially up against a Zetian. Zetian is that pick that we've discussed before that, yeah, if she's not getting wins, she's pretty much just there. Great ultimate, cool, vision, very nice. But when she's winning, you felt the pain.
And here's the thing, SRG won against a Zetian. Well, they played away from the Zetian and didn't even have to ban it. So I'm hoping that Aurora go into game number 4 here without that sense of panic, which is, again, some would argue, what really took down Indonesia's champions earlier in tonight's broadcast. So I'm hoping that RORA look into this and say, yeah, it's not the Zetian, but something else entirely. The Zetian was just, part of the symptoms, not the true disease that needs to be cured. In my opinion, what needs to be cured here, and the real thing that's ailing RORA, is the fact that they're not dancing to the tune that SRG is putting down. They're disrespecting, again, this mid-trio trade, the economy of the jungle, if you will. They're not thinking, oh, this is the kind of threats I'm going to be facing. I need to be prepared for it.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of it just comes down to just finding first positions, right? Because so far, based on what we've seen in these games, SRG are the ones moving out of their lanes first, being able to position right on top of the lane in ideal spots without having to maintain too much aggro from this neutral objective. RORA, on the other hand, actually don't mind their opponents sitting on top of it, but then who are the big hitters, right? Lapu Lapu wasn't in a majority of these fights, and by the time it actually happened, that's when SRG can make a very cool, calm, collected decision of, we back away, we take a pick, we come back in the fight once more.
Ooh, I want to play a little game here. Just thought about. Gideon, can you hold this?
I got it.
Mirko, could you pass us? That hammer there? Okay, Nice, who heard me and said, Nice, could you pass me that hammer real quick? Just throw it.
Hammer me.
I'll catch it. Oh God, that's terrifying. Okay, it's scarier with Nice. Okay, first, real quick. This might be a little bit spicy, but should we just go back to the Lunox? If you agree, slam it down. You want the Lunox back?
I think the Lunox is the safest way to go because it has a safe laning phase, it's got great scaling, it does everything that you want while still having playmaking capabilities that isn't instantly punishable.
Okay.
I don't think it's all in on the Lunox. That's why I did not immediately go. I think there are other solutions.
All right. Actually, I just got word that we still do have footage of the 3 minutes that we missed out on. So we're going to go back to that. Are we going to end up casting the missing 3 minutes?
Maybe.
Will we?
We'll see. Let's just break it down first, all right? We don't know what to expect here. So this was the missing 3 minutes, right? And we're going to follow Yums because, again, once again, I'm pretty sure he's going to be the MVP by the end of this, but mainly the way that he opens up the map. And we look at the mini-map as well, we have a very good idea because what the heck? Where is Light in all of this?
He's doing the old Light signature flank. Again, that's one of the few ways you can win an unwinnable match is if you find an unfair pickoff, but Yums wasn't having any of it.
Yeah. Of course, just to remind everyone who may have just hopped onto the stream now, this is the 3 minutes that we were not able to witness. Again, it did not affect tournament integrity and the play of the players, just us who saw it. So now we get to see that missing 3 minutes and this Lord fight that did go to SRG. So with what I'm seeing here, Innocent and Sakai's were unbothered. All of the zoning provided by the Alice just gave so much value for them. Edward got close though.
I mean, he's kind of close, but look at the back. Like, Hilda is getting absolutely beat down while this is all going, while this is all happening, right? Even Light gets back into the middle of the fight despite getting chunked out by Yums early on in the matchup. So I think this is where we saw that Laura take, and then almost immediately after, there should be a 2-for-1 trade at some point.
There it was. Well, we saw it. It was Yums for those two.
It should be Yue for Harith and Hilda.
That's another one then.
Yeah.
Look, we're about to get to that point, but for now it's all SRG. So this is what the first minute elapsed.
Okay. As we're watching this footage, I don't know if they'll be able to pick up the hammer squeaks behind the scenes, but I want to ask another question. If that initial trade in the mid lane, if that went well,
We're talking early game, right?
the early game, would this have been an early game Aurora win?
Oh, I had to think about that for a second. I was gonna say absolutely yes, but I think the mid game would have been a lot easier to manage if Yue didn't miss out on his level 4 that early on, and worse yet, for that first to second turtle.
No, I'm not even going to say, oh, it's because I think, no. Regardless, I think SRG would have found a way to get into this end game scenario, get their winning image, and still call the shots. We would end up at this 10, 11 minute mark moment, but maybe at 12, 13, if still you change the early game outcome.
Dude, look at the sweeping motion here, right? Because again, all of these fights have been like predetermined, and then yes, it's really, really sick. And this is finally that 2-for-1 trade that we were looking for at the very end there when they were pushing towards the base. But at the same time, right, before this fight, Yums has already kind of scoured the entire bottom side before they even use any of the global ults.
And that was a great formation with how they entered. It was sort of like a pincer as well. They were coming in from all directions. Okay, another spicy question. Sora, Freya, and CC, we were happy about those bans. But considering this is dangerous grass and knowing the tendencies of SRG, should Aurora Gaming PH have banned the Hilda instead?
Oh, I want to say yes so bad. You are putting me on the edge with these hard questions. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there was a way to play around it. And again, by maybe investing in some modicum of vision, that would have been possible. I don't know if the answer is, you know, putting the usage into the hands of Demon Kite, but yeah, no. It really was a matter of both it's what you got and how you used it.
Yeah. Well, of course, again, I'm still seeing a few questions in the comment sections. Yes, this is a replay of the 3 minutes we were not able to see earlier. So this is just to make sure that everyone is a little bit clearer in the story of what happened behind the, well, during the game that we couldn't see.
Pixar did happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna happen, but also look at the conditioning here, right? Every single interaction and fight has either happened in one of two important places. Either it's by the river, just by entrances of SRG's river or RORA's river. If not, right here at the base at this chokehold that we see Domenkite standing in front of, right? Every time they're caught in that chokehold, it is a losing fight for RORA.
And here's the thing, RORA can never choose where the fight happens. Sure, Light can find these weird angles, but usually he's outnumbered. Because again, the vision diff.
Yeah.
And just plan better. And one huge proprietor of that overabundance of vision and intel is none other than Stormy on that Zetian.
Yeah, I think it's unanimous here with how he handled the early game, and even the Fury of the Phoenix came in as set up after all of the vision provided by Yums. Great timing by Stormy, well-deserved MVP.
Well-deserved MVP, and I think this is one of the few times when you look at a Zetian, you're thinking like, how exactly does she get ahead in this game? What is the conversion? Because she doesn't scale that well, it's about opening up the map because her range is ridiculous and she can cover literally entire bushes with her first ability.
I think she's proving to everyone why she deserves a little bit more respect. In addition to Zushin, Zetian is another, I'd say, mechanically unique hero that provides utility in a different way. Again, just to double down, she doesn't deal enough damage, yes, but she provides vision. She provides wonton CC that no other hero can do with just the press of a button.
Let's not forget that she also has Magic Shred. Anybody who has MR gets loosened just a little bit, allowing things like Alice and Harith to really hit hard.
Not to mention self-peel. Again, maybe that's why Leomord by Demon Kai could not catch a break, is because you could finally find the source of all your headaches, the bane of your existence. You're like, oh, what is this?
Yeah. We also have to credit
Storm.
Sue Storm. We have to credit SRG for not giving Aurora a lot of openings. So now let's see what opening Aurora will get to find in this draft, the crucial draft, as SRG are one game win away from sending Malaysia to their first ever M Series Grand Finals. We go into Flying Cloud, and I'm sure that's going to change the picture of the draft, and this might end up becoming longer games as teams in the M7 World Championship want to play a little bit more cautiously and a little bit more aware with the risks of being overly aggressive with Flying Clouds active. Aurora still in the blue side, still the same bans.
Feels like RORA's just happy that it's like not dangerous grass anymore. There's just a couple of things that you don't have to worry about, but they still need to get rid of this hill though, because let me tell you, that Yums was really frustrating, right? Every little mistake you make, Yums, it amplifies it unnecessarily from RORA's POV, but that allows SRG to have more time to rotate, more time to steal away caps from Demon Kite.
So then now, is it worth it to go for the ultimate risk? If you say that Yums is one of the more annoying pieces of the SRG lineup to deal with, do you just take his Cho away?
I mean, I don't know. Give him his Cho. We'll play Kalia again, right? We want to replicate game one.
I think it would be valid to give away the Cho if you're playing utility. Because that gives him what? Less targets, less valid targets at that. So for Aurora, I wouldn't say taking the Cho away by picking it now, because you still have that Eve. But are they gonna die on that hill? That's the question. Is it worth it to go again? Fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice. Wait, we're past that, never mind.
Yeah.
It's happened already.
Aurora might even be willing to give the Eve Kalia, because Aurora played an Eve Kalia and they struggled with it.
Oh,
they go for the Yu Zhong.
It's time. Edward wants to put his stamp on that world stage.
It's been a while since we've seen a first pick Yu Zhong.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to find the thread. This is 5D chess.
Yeah, I'm trying to go back to when I think it was literally Swiss Stage Day 5. It was Team Liquid PH versus Yangon Galactico. No. A little bit sooner. We saw it in the knockouts. Yeah, Aurora Gaming PH versus Team Liquid PH. Okay. So they go Cho, as expected, Yums will end up with it. The last time Aurora Gaming PH first picked the Yu Zhong, they went Cho Kimmy to pair up with it.
Would I be okay with that? Because at the end of the day, right, when you see Yishin Shin on the opposite side, especially from SRG, how do we deal with it? A lot of it just boils down to taking away his farm, really accentuating the fact that you need a lot of economy to make this work. And now that RORA are now looking to play a utility jungler on top of this Yuzong, they need to have mega support. And now their side laners are prioritized here.
Okay, good to see Aurora adjust to that. They put a Fredrin into the hands of Demon Kite. And the Granger, I think they're just going for that easily accessible early damage output. And then just seeing the coast is clear, like there's no Claude, no Freya, no Sora. Yeah. There's a CC still though.
That's what I'm concerned about, that Aurora decided to just lean in already, picking up the Granger this early on. There's so many ways now that SRG can treat this. It's their decision.
This is a tough one, because they could go like Uranus and sandbag the lane, but Eve is still wide out in the open. Their gold lane is going to get punished in the second half of the draft, I would imagine. But then CC is still open, so yeah, they just gotta lean into the gold.
Yeah, I mean, we saw earlier that Innocent handled the good laning against Granger very well with this Harith. Oh, I think SRGs are going to cook up so many responses to this Granger. That's what I'm worried about.
I know, but at the same time, it's like, why would you open with the Cho Yishin Shin, knowing, especially seeing the Yuzong, especially knowing that you could easily kind of pivot your composition to play it in more earnest style, right? Go back into the Leomord once again. Maybe arguably there's even a Boxia opening for you as well. Knowing Sakai's, yes, he doesn't want to go Boxia, sure, but the Leomord?
Yeah. It's interesting because I feel like SRG did not need to have to worry about this gold lane trade. they have to worry more about the mid lane trade. That I feel like they could have had more cards of value with if they picked up their mid laner at red 3, then just change the bans around so that it's a bit more favored for them towards the matchup.
I think they just rather win whatever comes through. They're giving RORA the onus, the responsibility. Hey, what are you letting through in mid, or else we pick the best one that's left at red 4. But yeah, this doesn't answer the question of why the sudden priorities in the first 3.
Yeah. Well, Fandom War is up. When you type in your answer to the question of who will win the series, RORA versus SRG. See this along with Red Giants fans leading the charge right now. Yeah. Type down your predictions for the upcoming picks that could be shown by these two.
It's tight though, literally.
Like a toiger.
That's a Malaysian national animal.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
Like a Malaysian toiger.
They call it the Harimau Malaya.
Oh, okay.
I did my research. All right, one more ban here. SRG, they have to make their bed. Do we ban one mid? Or do we just let it all out in the wild?
When I give the word.
Both light picks.
Yeah. They understand. So instead of tackling the mid laner, they tackle the roam pick. Which now with the Hildegarde, they're going to end up playing something slower like well, the Gotcha is going to be open for them. Kalea is also still open. Hylos.
In case you really just want to find that Harith, find that Yisun Shin, find whatever they put in mid.
I still would want Aurora to just double down on the Kalea Lunox. Again, it worked out for them earlier, and it worked out earlier in the day as well.
Yeah, I think it does work, but I think Coach Ark has kind of recognized the pattern here, right? Again, this is the first time that we're seeing so many light bans in the second phase. Usually they would aim it elsewhere, knowing that UA is going to be the usual secondary win condition for RORA in the first place, right? So I think that SRG, especially for Coach Ark, you see these first 3 picks and, well, RORA, they're looking to play comfort. Let's take away the comfort picks. We're already in our head.
Mid-range. I don't think Aurora will, at this late in the tournament, at this stage, will bring back an old combo in the Mathilda Fred. They got the speed, but it might just be too risky. They might just have to settle for something like a Gatot or Kalea.
There's the Farsa, but I think now this is where you go for Yves, right?
You gotta have that range diff fixed up. And by doing that, you put the Farsa in extra trouble. You have a Black Dragon in the skies. So if that's an Eve, what do you put in light?
Kalea Gatot.
Does it have to be Kalea?
Kalea, Hylos, Gatot.
In terms of the picks that we've seen, so Kimmy, as expected, the Mathilda will not work here. So yeah,
wow, Eve gets snubbed.
Yeah.
My mission is
They go for the high loss.
Interesting that they want to go. All right. So yes, like you mentioned before in Game 3, we were looking for bridges, right? And Kimmy did inevitably get banned in that game as well. So this time round, UA really has to do a lot of good work here. Because again, you're facing off Farce Cho in the lane itself, which is hard enough. Luckily, this time, Light can't get punished that hard on the high loss.
So the last pick here, it's going to be going to the EXP lane. What's Cram going to end up with? Usually we've seen some teams just pack up the Uranus and just go, yeah, let's just have a body to hold. But then the Kimmy, the Granger, the Yuzon, because Uranus is one of those guys that really don't care. He's like, okay, I'm just going to be here, sandbag, it's fine.
Just needs to shred, right?
Yeah. Oh.
Works as well. I like this a lot because now Fredrin is going to struggle to fight for these neutrals.
A clear go signal if the Fredrin is standing your way, the Kimmy and the Granger's positioning is compromised. Oh, we're gonna see Patrick Star wreak havoc.
As a Filipino, I'm gonna say it's gonna hurt if SRG wins this and we lose to Patrick. And to see the Malaysians go first to the grand finals, but it is a perfect pick to round it out. Real quick, Gideon, SRG or Aurora?
I think the SRG need to win their lanes. If they win the lanes, they will win the game.
This is a perfect last pick just to ruin what Aurora set up in 5 picks. I think SRG's got this. Aurora's trembling.
Will it be a caster's bless or a caster's curse? Will it be SRG sending Malaysia to their first M Series Grand Finals? Or will Aurora force a game number 5? We are getting closer to history with Mirko and Naisu to help tell the story.
I would be trembling as well, going against the Patrick Star in a potentially last match here.
Oh my God,
it's
it's
him.
him. It's him.
What better way to get to the grand final for the first time for Malaysia with that skin, best skin of the game now, Mirko.
Oh my God, Skies, no way. This is dirty. Dirty, you pick up the glue and you go level 1 invade. Yum's gonna go for it as well. He's gonna bait out the retribution. Demon Cat with the retri already. They don't know it's happening. Grand Theft Orange level 1. Skies gets stunned up by Light. So at least there's a bit of, oh my God.
He's able to get away.
Okay. But now what happens? Where does Demon Kite go? Because he's cooked either way. He just goes lethal. He knows he's cooked. There's no orange buff.
He knows it, so he's gonna go ahead and just keep things under control, right? He's just gonna go ahead and just admit, all right, I lost my orange buff. I'll let it be. Sakai's, though, great start. You know, going into Demon Kite's jungle, you can expect that. Again, this is kind of what you want to do anyway. You're the YSS, you're moving a little bit faster than the Fredrin, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. So Aurora Gaming, with this kind of lineup, as we look at the emblems here, this is something similar to what we've seen in the past, right? This combination with the Fredrin and the Kimmy specifically works really great. The traction pulse, plus the amount of crowd control that this lineup has. Also, mind you, the Yuzhong first pick, the priority here for Edward, could change these early skirmishes that might even break out before the first turtle. As you can see, just how much focus right now is allowing Demon Kite to get his side of the jungle after losing that orange buff.
Yeah, but Skies, this is a 3-buff start. He might be level 5 by the time the turtle spawns here. He hasn't even taken the green camps up top. Yeah, he's taking it slow. Doesn't look like they're in any rush. Domeng, wow, for 1v1 over on Innocent, but this could be the gank up top with the Mountain Shocker as well. Domeng, did he make the wrong call? It's a free kill on Skies. Almost a trade, but Innocent stands tall.
Okay, he stands tall. The fight for the turtle, they're gonna go for it anyway.
What?
Whoa! Edward is slain by Stormy. Yes, they'll get the turtle for Aurora Gaming, but you lost 2 in the exchange.
Make it 3 if the purple buff counts as well. Skies with Rectory, and he gets it despite it being a bit short.
What just happened? I mean, the aggression from Domeng Kite, maybe he just wanted to go for the solo kill, but then, you know, with a flicker down, by the way, he then gets caught in the lane. They make a play up top. I'm surprised at how fast Edward even went down, but that's the damage like this from Stormy.
Uh-oh, the pullback into feathered airstrike range. Edward 0-2-0.
Dude, Stormy is locked in. He got his Farsa. The Prodigy right now on this pick is just making it happen. 2-0 right now early on. You're scaling already in good control of the early game. SRG has everything happening across the map. Think about it. It started in the jungle with Sakai's taking the buff, continuously putting pressure on Demon Kite. You're winning the lane up top. You're winning bottom. Here we go again. Oh, Edward.
Great read on the fierce dive, but again, it's going to be the all-in onto him. 0-3 is it, Edward? Will fall again. The turret juggle is perfect from Selangor Red Giants, and they've taken the dragon out of the equation.
The Dragon, Agent Zero, Mr. Consistent, throw all the names out there. SRG is handling him. Edison might be next.
Traction pulse, now the Purify out. Glorious Pathway coming down as Innocent pops into the Mon Force, but he's going to be stunned up, and now it's going to be the JCC for Domeng to at least get a kill back, but look at the turret down below. SRG took it.
They had to get something, man. Aurora Gaming Philippines cannot let this continue to happen on all fronts of the map. And so at least they make a play there. They have to go ahead and kind of slow this down. The Giants literally are already coming into this game, trampling around, taking what they want, and they continue to do so. Edward's gonna have to play catch up.
Whoa.
Oh man, he's got a bottom.
Oh my goodness. Look at that shit, Stormy.
All right.
Flickers in, what a risk taker.
He's risk taking because he's ahead like the way he is, man. Fight for the turtle.
Cram's gonna go in. That's the way the Dragon is zoning him away, and the mount down as well from Patrick, aka Cram. It's an all-in over on Demon Kite. Big bomb on Yums. Domeng able to get the shot down. Traction pulls. Cram pulls back in, and he's gonna go down to US.
Oh, Edward. All right, he pops the Black Dragon for him, but I don't think there's gonna be any follow-through. Just checking things out. They want to go ahead and get this extra gold off this top turret. So with that, that's a great swing back in favor of RORA Gaming Philippines, but it's not in there entirely just yet. But that will be some crucial gold and pickups that they needed to go into the right hands here.
Gold's back to level on the board. Domenkai with the gold crab here. Certainly it will be... Whoa! 1,000 gold lead for Domenkai in the gold lane.
Dude, he knows that he's going to be a big part of turning this around. Look at that early first item. Chastised Pauldron picked up now for Demon Kite. Starlium Scythe over here for Innocent.
Whoa.
And this, oh no, Yums.
Jikudo on the way to Dragon now. Over on Domenkai for the air strike coming down. The lethal ignition is taken and Yums takes him out. That 1,000 gold lead was too much. SRG said no.
No, not today. Yums, I gotta say, man, his play-making ability throughout this series have been so good. Edward, okay, he's gonna get away. But look at this, tier 2 turret.
Oh my god.
Nearly gonna be knocked down. Actually will fall here, and RORA will lose more crucial real estate on the map right now. This kind of lineup too needs some time to cook, but SRG's not giving them that many opportunities. Oh, Glorious Pathway just to force Stormy out of here, man. Stormy, like I said, I don't know what he had for breakfast today, but he is locked in throughout the series. And even though he's 2-0, I mean, think about how much damage he's doing. I'm not sure if we're gonna get to see the damage meter just yet, but he's definitely at the top. Feathered Airstrikes are hurting. There is a Sky Piercer now locked in for Domenkai. Much earlier this time in this game than the last one. So we'll see if he's able to build up the stacks that he needs here.
It really is going to be all on Domeng and Yue. Because Demonkite with the Chastised Pauldron, you know exactly what's going to happen here. They're all just going to be peeling for the backliners. The thing is, though, SRG can attack from so many different angles, and your front line is going to be brought to SRG's burst or away from the backliners of RORA. Yums in the front, Demonkite with a two-man taunt now onto Cram and Yums, but it's Cram hopping into pass, now goes in for the slam. Over on Demonkite, puts the stacks on him. Remember, he can go for the mount down on him. So that's a big problem. Black Dragon Form already used. Turtle gonna be very, very low, but Cram pops in a pass again. A Sky's gonna be zoned away by the Black Dragon Form as Yums rotates over. Appraiser's Ram with Retribution secures the Turtle. But it seems SRG don't even want to fight.
That's quite interesting that they didn't want to. I guess they just didn't have the favored position that they wanted, because they definitely could have started the fight, but they end up giving over that Turtle, essentially allowing RORA Gaming Philippines to buy a little more time. The purple buff is up. Yums is there providing that information, but you'll actually be able to secure this one. Demonkite getting a little bit more tanky. Now, Glorious Pathway dropped down. They're going to chase down Stormy.
No flicker earlier. The peel coming through, but Stormy's going to be gunned down by Yue. And now it's Cram looking for the play onto Light. Not going to happen. Innocent in the bottom lane.
Okay. Right now, RORA Gaming Philippines is choosing these little ones across the map, giving Demonkite some confidence to go ahead and start invading this side of the jungle if he can, forcing Sakai's back. It looks like they go for it. Yoops in trouble, can't get away, it's too much. Crowd control, and there you go, a kill going to Domenkite.
Big stack. It's just 10, but it's a build right now for RORA. It's a slow build for them. If they can constantly get these small wins, it will build up. That 10 stacks will help him execute even more, and the gold lead now is back to 1,000 between the gold laners, despite the fact that Innocent was sent down below to soak in as much farm as possible.
Yeah, oh man. You can see this too, it just, the way that things started for SRG is not the case anymore. RORA Gaming Philippines really itemized for that. They now got a couple of defensive magic items as well. Aegis over here for Edward, he's dealt with the brunt of the early game struggles, so he's going to be able to survive some of that damage from Stormy, and then also you have the Radiant Armor now for Demonkite too. So, and a Malefic Roar over for Domenkite. So that's why his damage is starting to be felt by those front lines, especially when Yums tries to set things up, or Cram, for example. So it's a good adjustment for RORA Gaming. They still have a lot to cover. Wow, look at it. This is what I'm talking about, man. After that Malefic Roar was picked up, even Cram has to be a little careful in how he approaches this.
Yeah, okay, so Cram only has the Cursed Helmet and the Brute Force Breastplate, so now we understand why it's doing so much damage. There's literally only a Brute Force Breastplate with, again, minimal physical defense versus the Malefic Roar of the Granger. Domenkite in this position. Divine Blade picked up, though, for Stormy.
Okay, Lord's up here, half health right now. Cram making his way as well. SRG in full force. Traction pulse.
Only onto Cramps. Last time pass and for the airstrike coming down to the UA right there, but he's able to escape. Now as the sun comes in and Doming is able to get the shot now. Petrifying the Fierce Dive now as Sky's going to be able to get the peel from Yum. He's able to go for the Traces now as Innocent jumps around with his Amon Force on Light.
Oh, Light's going to be in trouble. He's trying to get away with the rest of the team. They're so low here, but Cram leading the charge. Does Yum go forward? No. They trade it out again. As Stormy went down, Lord secured though by Aurora Gaming Philippines and another stack to Domenkite.
I've never seen a Dragon go 0-3 and be this useful, bro. Edward is having an amazing performance despite the early deaths. Yes, it looks bad in KD, but over the course of the last 3 team fights, he's been more useful than Cram on the glue, which is surprising.
That is the nature of XP laners. Glorious Pathway dropped down. Okay, Demonkite won't catch him with the Energy Eruption, but as I was saying, man, the XP laners, that's their job. I feel like they are the ones getting pushed around, beat up a lot in these matches, but still, the use of them is really what it comes down to. So even if you have a rough start, you can still be quite useful for a team. This Lord's gonna go ahead and charge in up top. A good check with that feathered airstrike. So that turret actually might not go down unless that, okay, that Lord doesn't get that last swing in. So not too much off the Lord. But what it does do, essentially, is allow Aurora Gaming this window. They might even just go for a tier 1 turret as they do. They know they don't want to take these fights just yet. It's more so about opening the map, getting that real estate to move around the map.
3 turrets left and right. Aurora Gaming Philippines really punishing Selangor Red Giants for, I would say, hesitating a couple of times during the turtle fights. Again, not wanting to go in, not wanting to take the risk, wanting to build on their lead further instead. And it has only given Aurora more time to scale up. With a Granger and a Kimmy, that's a problem. And again, SRG, even if Cram goes for the mount down now, they don't actually have enough damage to burst through the Fredrin.
This is why the power spikes are always so important. Oh, whoa.
Skies? What? Walks up alone and he gets caught for it. Everything used. Fury Side Petrify a taunt as well. What was... Did he just get the wrong info? Why was Skies there?
I don't know if he just didn't have the info. Yeah, he went in getting caught blind here. He's going to lose his purple buff.
Oh, my God. Still able to get out with his Amon Force, but that's a big ultimate burn down as Cram goes in over on Demon Camp, but there's again not enough damage to take the Fredrin down, and Edward is now picking up turrets on the right. Tier 2 falling for free.
Being useful as can be. He also has a chastised Pauldron now too. So he's got his grounds covered a little bit. Little feathered airstrike drop down. They want this tier 2 turret.
Cancelled by Light on the feather airstrike in the bottom lane. It's a 1v1 between the XP laners, but again, in the mid lane, it is a free turret to Aurora. They just keep on getting these freebies.
Mirko, it's surgical is what Aurora Gaming Philippines is doing. They knew they had to play from behind, especially in the early game. They've made the adjustments up to this point. They put themselves in a very good position to go ahead and take this Lord and start marching it towards a potential Game 5. It's still early. SRG can still turn a fight around. They have everything they need. You can see the positioning here. It's all about that target acquisition. Light's gonna go ahead and spot them out, so that's not gonna happen for SRG. The fight for the space around the Lord is gonna break out here. Half health right now for this Lord.
Stormy is still in the mid lane though. He's trying to deal with the wave in the bottom lane, but I feel like that wave is gonna push back anyways.
What's gonna do here?
Right, so yeah, he ends up just having to rotate, but it's gonna be late. He goes with the wave of the dragon, locking him down. Skies goes in, but Petrify locks him out, and one! Steals the Lord! And he goes on Skies now. He's able to get the rose gold in time, but Edward wants the 1v1 and Skies? Traceless isn't forward. Yu is gonna go for the chase in Skies. He's trapped all alone against 3. It'll be Edward who walks up and he gets the kill onto Skies.
Skies goes down, Yums as well, and Edward secures the Lord. And now Aurora Gaming Philippines, with a massive swing in favor, will head to the base of SRG. They still have a great defense, but can they keep it together?
Let's see, the feather airstrike coming out on UA. He's able to flick around at the Glorious Pathway as Light gets mounted down and brought back into the crystal, but Innocent's holding it.
And they go, Light in trouble, popping the Revitalize, they still have to fight. Yums is back up.
Innocent doing so much damage, Light's gonna be taken down. Cram again now, solo, Doming, looking for the shot, can't find the last one, Yums. G Kundo forward. Selangor Red Giants defend their base, but it costed them 2 big structures.
It was messy and bloody, but still SRG will stay in this game. They lost a lot of the base turrets, holding on to just 1. But Aurora Gaming Philippines just showing, you know, if they want to go for a fight, they're able to go ahead and take it. If they want to find the round, the objectives now, they can take that as well. More physical defense here for Demon Kite. He's been nearly unkillable. Yeah, he lost some of his jungle in the early game, but there's been no answer to deal with Demon Kite. Edward as well, he's got defensive items enough now to just kind of throw himself forward, and that is all allowing Doman Kite the space. Oh, there's the energy eruption.
Oh no, Cram's gonna be left all alone. He pops in a pass, and he flickers out. That means it's 2 battle spells, Naisu.
Yeah.
Down.
2 battle spells out of the equation right now. Now, they still have plenty of time before that Lord comes up. So those battle spells should be available, but the cooldowns on the ultimates are gonna come up faster. You can count on Aurora Gaming Philippines to try to potentially get a pick off. You can see the difference here between the lanes. A Holy Crystal now online and available for UA. So he is going to hurt even more. But look at the difference in the gold lane. Innocent has definitely struggled on this Harith pick in being able to be utilized with the fights. Mostly dropping down the Zaman Force in these fights, trying to turn the tide, but it just seems like a big portion of the damage has been pretty much handled with defensive items. Humes providing that vision on light. Just gonna check things out. They want to go ahead and take this purple buff.
And the control is gone for Selangor Red Giants. It's Aurora Gaming Philippines who are occupying the map. The map's blue. The 16-minute mark of game number 4. From the start, it really looked like, okay, it was gonna be Selangor Red Giants' game for sure, right? A level 1 orange buff take. Oh, another airstrike onto Domeng. Now Sky's gonna go for the chase as well. An instant flicker from Domeng. He saw the invisible Cho, and he reacted. Now that's an even bigger spell to lose out before a Lord fight. Your main man.
Oh man, that's actually big to not have that flicker available. And you can't just wait a minute and a half for it to be back up.
Nope.
So now Doman Kite, they're gonna be pressured into this fight. Once again, where's Yumes and Sakai is gonna go here? Light is also on this part of the map.
Stormy.
Stormy gonna get caught here. He's gonna, is Light gonna actually go for the sun?
He's gonna go for Sun. Where does Stormy go? He's able to flicker out, but again, that's what they were looking for. They were only just trying to look for the flicker. It was just it was a feint. It was a threat right there.
They're like, Doman Kite doesn't have his, now Stormy doesn't have his flicker.
Yes, sir.
It's fine.
Now it's level.
All right now though, Lord still up, half health. Demon Kite holding it up alongside Krem. What are they gonna do here? Stormy as well, joining the fight. Sakai's still off on the wings in the mid lane. They're gonna have to force something here.
Black Dragon form as well. Demon Kai still holding on to the Lord. This looks really, really good. And again, the zoning coming in from Edward as he jumps in with the Petrify as well. It's an all-in over the skies as Cram's able to survive, and it goes in for the mount down.
Edward gets kicked, but he goes to the back line.
Edward will fall. That's Yums on the G Kundo, and the Feather Air's trying to follow it through Yums. Able to flicker around. Light pops in to revitalize. And Aurora got what they sought out for. They got the Lord.
As I said, both XP laders are the punching bags for the teams here, as is. They both go down, they're both traded out, but Aurora Gaming Philippines gets the advantage. Lord making its way down that mid lane as Yums takes the flying cloud, and now SRG on the defense. Can they clear this out once more?
Man, that traction pulse force Innocent to go for the Zaman Force, and now it's going to be big again. Innocent going to be caught in the taunt, has to purify out of it. The mobilization used as well. Yums in the back line, able to go for the amount of shocker landing on Light. Yums cancel out by the taunt of Demon Kai, and a big bonk with the Appraiser's Wrath to shut him down.
A great attempt from Yums to make something happen, but it still does allow SRG into the game, and they haven't lost the last base turret just yet. Can they clear this out still? Aurora Gaming Philippines might still look to punch it in.
The pace is down to half HP. Skies' Rose Gold Meteor gets procced by Domeng Kite on the Granger. And now that he has Flicker, I don't think Selangor Red Giants can get to him, dude.
Ooh, Domeng Kite has all the space in the world to work with too, man. I gotta say, Aurora Gaming Philippines has done a great job at providing that space and protecting and peeling for Domeng Kite. This is now and has been a game of resources, right? The battle spells, the ultimates on both sides, but SRG is still showing that even at this point, almost 20 minutes into this game 4, that there's still potential for them to turn around these team fights. It's more so not having all those battle spells down or those ultimates used too early on. This purple buff is going to be taken over. Sakai knows that he's not going to see this for a while, so it's more so of just what can they get? What can they get around the map? How can they continue to build up? Nearly item locked over on both sides, still working on some of those last items, but man, you gotta respect what SRG's lineup is still capable of doing here.
Immortality for Yum, so he wants to go for more of those plays, but this time he's just like, even if I don't get it, I want to bait more resources. I want to make Aurora Gaming Philippines think a bit more. And again, for Aurora Gaming Philippines right now, the advantage that they got, the turret up top, it's so unfortunate that the Lord has spawned the top twice now. So again, they can't really utilize the far lane. Selangor Red Giants can still clear it out. It's just Stormy needs to be decisive, brother. Last time, he went bottom lane, even though it was going to push back to Aurora Gaming Philippines, and that's why Aurora punished instantly.
And I mean, look at this, like, almost expect Aurora to potentially try to catch Stormy, or if it just means another flicker being used. Because obviously with this Lord being evolved, it's going to take a little bit longer for this dance to kind of break out here, but Aurora is going to get in position, and SRG will go ahead and clear out that bottom wave. They got to manage these waves and get ready to fight. A Divine Glaive picked up for Cram here. Nearly half health on the Lord. Once again, very similar positioning.
8-3-4 stacks.
8-3-4 stacks for Dome and Kite right now.
Yeah, those bullets are not going to run out, man.
Whoa.
Yums, oh my god, he gets away the dragon! Straight into the mountain chugger, Skies! What a timing by Skies!
Dome and Kite is gone, and the fight still breaks out. Stormy falls too!
Innocent still able to survive right now. UA goes in, and it's gonna be Demon Kite going up over on Yums, going for the stab, and Yums will fall to Demon Kite!
And they're still going. Cram separated from the team on the run, and Aurora's gonna hunt him down.
Cram, can he run? He takes a turret shot. UA is getting him down, and it will be a slow, painful death, and he falls in the end. Skies in the mid lane trying to save this game. He clears out the wave. What do Aurora do? They see a wave up top.
They've got a wave up top to walk in, and Sakai's is left alone for a little bit longer. Aurora, can they end it here?
Mountain Sharker coming out, Light unable to get the stun. UA in the mid lane, already clearing it out, but there's a big wave up top that's going to be used. No glorious pathway. Skies able to trace this away. Pops in Mountain Sharker. Now again, it's going to be Sky. Chase CC down. He buys the immortality, but the base is wide open, and Aurora Gaming Philippines will take us to a game 5.
We wouldn't have it any other way. For a spot in the grand finals of the M7 World Championship, we need 5 games, we get 5 games.
Oh my God. The road to make it to the grand finals will not be an easy road, both of them. This is a bloodbath. It's a slugfest, and it's exactly what we wanted for an upper bracket finals. Again, brother man, Edward on this Yu-Zong. 0-3-0 start.
I hear no bell. That's basically what he said, man.
There was no towel, there was no bell. He kept on going.
That's what you gotta do, all the XP laners out there.
How do they win this with Domen completely dead? Look at him. He got shot. That was perfect timing from Skies.
Perfect attempt and pickoff.
Oh my.
You take out Domen Kite, but this fight still doesn't go their way. I mean, just phenomenal team fighting from Aurora Philippines here to make this work. And it really tough for SRG because they started the game strong. They started off on the right foot, but then it all just kind of fell apart, man. I know it was a really decisive and disciplined way that Aurora approached this to turn things around. So just again, very solid game 4 we got there. We're gonna throw it over to the panel to break down our game 4.
We are going to a game number 5! Aurora have pushed the envelope. That man leading the charge suffered 2-3 deaths, multiple losses early on, but miraculously getting the Lord, holding on as a team, playing for Dom and Kite, means that all of the efforts of SRG to piss off Edward was just wasted away.
Not just piss off, but turn off Edward J. in the Padap. Mr. Consistent, only the second player in all of M7, according to stats, to have broken the Uomi 2 deaths under 5 minutes rule. Usually whenever a Yu-Zong is beaten down this hard, suffering 2 or more deaths before the second turtle, usually it's game over. But here, again, the question stands, how did Aurora come back from that? Well, the devil's in the details.
The devil is in the details. I mean, when we get to the item build, I think we got a lot to talk about there. But for the most part of things, it's really just maintaining control and composure. But there was a lot of weird motions. I don't know about you guys. Number one, we saw that Aurora playing a pretty standard game. But do you feel like SRG kind of just let a lot of things go?
Yep.
First Lord, let it go. Torrance, let it go. First, whatever. We'll give whatever is necessary. And Sakai's, by the time he got his third item, that's when they finally start to participate. Felt really awkward.
In addition to just letting things go, I think they let themselves go.
Yes.
How early was it that Stormy down bottom was just wanton throwing out these flickers and trying to kill Edward over and over again, despite the man already being down with nothing but the clothes on his back, and it led to nothing.
If I'm innocent, I'm honestly going to be quite annoyed here. It's like, all of the motions of SRG, yes, it was to turn off that Yuzhong, which was, in the bigger picture, going to be very problematic to deal with when it comes to the team fights. But then it got to the point of like, yo, aren't you guys forgetting you have a gold laner you're supposed to help out? It was getting kind of like, why? Why keep continuously going for Edward? You've won the lane. Sure, they broke 2 towers, but then Innocent lost lane because of the overcommitment of SRG, because Aurora said, sorry, Edward, you're gonna have to like eat that for a while. We're gonna help out our gold laner. Edward, back in the corner, is like, all right, sure, let me try. And he did, and he got that first Lord somehow too. And that was like the perfect ironic punch to the gut to everything that happened in that game.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because again, it's when you are that Yuzhong, especially for EXP laners, you're targeting junglers when you're fighting for those neutral objectives. And I think that on this Yuzhong, and funny enough, a lot of chain of bad reactions happened for Sakai's just because of that. Oh, Black Dragon form nudged me into the knockup, which followed up by the Furious Life on top of the Petrify, so things could have not gone worse for him.
And none of these things go, even if you beat down on the Yuzhong ad nauseum. Even if the Yuzhong was at 0, 8, and 2, it could still do that to a Yusun Shin 20 minutes into the game. So I think that's one of the things that Edward held on to. And just like one of our favorite comic book characters, Batman, he said, I can do this all day. And I think that's why he deserves to be MVP. I don't know if he's gonna get it. We're about to find out. Indeed he does!
1, 4, and 7. Everything that he suffered, but him miraculously getting that Lord and then eventually leading the charge for Aurora. This tactic of SRG would have worked if they were up against an assassin in the jungle. But now they're up against a Fredrin. And even if you take out that Yuzhong, you have that Fredrin you ignored.
They got to stop giving them the utility junglers, because right now, Demon Guy is just making sure, you know what, not only am I facilitating the fight, I am pumping up 2-for-1s time and time again. Energy eruptions that's landing not only on towards Harith, but also manages to get the guys at the same time. Like, how many times can he keep reproducing it? And the answer is, an infinite number of times. He's done it so consistently to the point where I think it just deserves a ban. It is not worth letting go.
Yeah, that, or just in general, the realm of utility junglers. You don't want to face Aurora when they are in an atmosphere where they've thrived. This is still the DNA of former world champions Blacklist International running through their veins. Edward was a part of that lineup. Demon Kite fought through the time wherein they were in the shadow of the M3 World Champions. So they know what it's like to be this oppressive. And talking about oppression, that Yi Shin could not play. Despite them having a great start, this is one of them. Oh my God. 10 minutes in, Sakai's hasn't died. That doesn't tell you the story of how hard it was for him to secure anything.
More so, why did they take the fight there? Why did Stormy decide to release the feathered airstrikes, watching Edward walk by through the river as if he didn't have his ult? And then a couple of other moments like this where, yes, you do get kicked. Yes, Edward is taking a lot of damage. But then notice the back line, right? Kite's still alive with his flicker. They can set the boundaries as the anchor continues to move forward time and time again.
All right, hammers up real quick. With what they did in the early game and with what they forgot, was this just straight up disrespect by SRG? They were thinking, we already want this, let's just play around maybe just a little bit.
Easily. easily. A lot of weird motion. I mean, even me and Leo were talking about this in the middle of the game. It's like, what's going on here?
Yeah, very un-SRG. We were mentioning how some moments last night between Aurora Turquía and SRG were non-SRG moments. This might be the biggest one of them all. They let go in the early game. They played dirty MLBB with no rhyme or reason. And I'm hoping that this does not get rid of their mental constitution. I'm hoping that they don't beat themselves up hard for this, because I could have sworn that the first, 3 minutes of this game, we were going to see Malaysia in the grand finals for the first time in the M Series.
Yeah, again, to tell the story of what happened early on. Yeah, they got a lot of kills onto Edward. They started it off also with a beautiful steal on the orange buff of Demon Kite by Sakai's. And then it seemed like, okay, there's going to be no room of recovery here. But then Aurora doubled down on, hey, they keep going to the bottom lane. Let's just farm the opposite side. Let's get our orange buffs through the buffs of Sakai's in the orange side that they're not getting. I also really like the itemization of Edward here. I'm not really sure if he got to complete that War Axe. He never left the Ogre Axe. He went into the Fury Hammer, Hunter Strike, built the Pauldrons to help deal with the attack speed of Innocent and of course Sakai's, and then he gets his Spell Vamp through the Queen's Wings.
And then we look on over to the opposite side. What are those items from Cram? This is like a public rank game build that we see time and time again, and the only thing that he's missing is a flame shot instead of flicker.
Yeah, that is the first pawn that came in even before the Divine Glaive. The glowing wand alone, the fact that you allotted that much economy when you were losing consistently for 10 minutes now, you still decided to do that. I'm hoping that it's a team decision. I'm hoping that he ran this through the squad saying, yo, I'm gonna go this way, all right? I'm gonna try to play a quote-unquote assassin glue. Let's see if this works out. He went in too deep. He went and built the Divine Glaive too.
As one of those RG players, yeah, sorry, I'm one of those guys. Let me add a little bit more of a thought of what Cram is thinking here. In the team fighting, your job is to jump on the Fredrin. Divine Glaive, Glowing Wand, happy to help take down that Fredrin's health a little bit more. But only if the rest of the team focus on the Fredrin. The rest of the team want to focus on Domikite because that's who Yooms is looking for. Yes, he got a lot of kicks on the Demon Kite to delay his take, but where's the rest of the damage going to? It's going to Yua, it's going to Domikite, meaning that those items that Cram built, Demon Kite's just like, all right, thanks for the faster charge and my Appraiser's Wrath, I guess. Bonk onto Yooms.
So the growing theory is he communicated it, but not completely.
Guys, I'll take out the Fredrin. Okay, says the rest of SRG, and this is what we're left with. Personally, for me, I don't deny that there is a little bit of logic, but it's very counterintuitive, right? Because yes, you want to get on top of people like Demon Kite, for an example, but with all of these items, you're not really going to kill him. If you're on anybody else, though, maybe you'll be able to chunk him out pretty hard, but for the most part, majority of the members from the side of Aurora will be running the Flicker in the first place.
So here's that gold curve, the story of how the economy swung so clearly towards Aurora. This is heartbreaking because for what? Apparently not just the first 3 or 4 minutes, for like 8 minutes, up to about 8 minutes, SRG was in control. It was that slow of a burn, and then suddenly the turn, and then too little too late.
Let's also notice that in terms of the gold curve, right, the maximum and as well as the lowest, the deficit wasn't too crazy. We never got to see 4K. We never got to see 5K. And of course, obviously the big old 10K where the game's basically over, but it really just goes to show that Aurora is just more efficient with smaller leads in comparison to SRG, who are waiting for clear timings rather than playing as adaptive as they usually do.
SRG played to their conditions and they were satisfied with the first tower break and already Edward suffering 2 deaths early on. This could have been a different story if they then turned their attention to, if they can't disrupt the jungle pathing of the Fredrin, which a lot of teams actually cannot do, then at least help Innocent out. But then they couldn't. And then in the end, it's Aurora who forced the game number 5 because of the overzealousness and the overcommitment of Selangor Red Giants towards the EXP lane of Edward. But we also have to credit Aurora's comeback here. Fundamental, man. How they just decided to tackle the rest of the map despite all that pressure. That was beautiful Mobile Legends, bang bang.
Yeah, it really was. And it's extremely expressive as well, right? I think if anything, if anybody forgets the entire series, just watch the laning phase between Cram and Edward. Because my God, there's some kind of hostility that's going on with Cram feeling like he's trying to punch above his weight and trying to kind of set himself in stone at an international stage. And Edward is just like, just you wait. Just you wait. I didn't say it was over yet.
there is a way to harness that kind of aggression. I'm hoping that Cram has reset well enough after game 4, after that 22-minute loss, to be able to use it the right way. I'm hoping that he just doesn't shut down and plays like a very Mom Esmeralda or something. I hope
Yeah.
he's still that same aggressive team captain.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best qualities of Cramp is that aggression, that in-your-face style that gets into the mind and under the skin of a lot of teams. So hopefully we don't see Cramp and SRG change up too much, because I'd want to see a very competitive game number 5 between these two. Aurora Philippines and Selangor Giants are on the brink of making history. But for who? We're going to theorize just a little bit more behind the scenes about drafts and picks and whatnots and strategies. But for now, let's toss it on over to Eterna with an interview.
We are now down to the final game, but before we get into that, we are going to get a little bit of time to talk to each representative from each region that is fighting for that final ticket to the grand finals, the first ticket rather, to the grand finals here between Hans
Yup.
as well as Mars.
Hey.
Guys, I gotta say, behind the scenes, this has been the most chaotic duo, and we're gonna talk to them about it right now. All right, let's start with you, Hans.
Okay.
We gotta ask, all right? First game, it was looking good, and then back-to-back wins from SRG, and then Aurora was able to take it back in game number 4. How did that momentum shift happen? How do you feel about that?
Bro, I can't even lie to you. Like, we got nervous because, again, SRG, we understand that they're a pretty strong team. Aurora, we eventually knew that they were gonna fight back. I guess on a serious note, it really comes from the draft. MTB and Dexter really did a great job trying to figure out that it's not just about Innocent and Cram with that team. You gotta respect that entire squad if you want to win this series. So, yeah.
So yeah. So the draft's execution as well was amazing coming in from game number 4. But I gotta ask you, do you agree? What happened with SRG in that 4th game? Because technically, SRG had the chance to close that out 3-1, Mars.
Yeah, my perspective is, from a business side, this is good.
Business side.
You know, because
Wait.
the more matches we get,
Okay.
more views we get.
Okay,
Yeah.
more games, better views.
More better views, more money.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, for us, this is good. I really appreciate the players. Very competitive, you know.
That's true.
Not just by competitive, but we make it very competitive until we
Yes.
get the views much more.
Yes.
So this
Mars,
is
thank
good
you.
for business perspective.
Mars,
Keep
thank
supporting
you.
us.
Thank you, Mars.
Yeah, because my vision is not just only the battle between SRG and Aurora.
Agree.
The LPH.
Okay.
This is about us.
Yes.
This is about let the world see us.
Yes.
Let the world see us.
We are one family.
One family. No, that is true. That is true. You can hear the arena agreeing with him right now. We are one family. So SRG, like, did it on purpose for more.
Yeah, I can say that. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't care. I'm not
okay.
the analyst. They did that on
You have
purpose.
something to say
Because
about
we are
that?
winning.
Well,
but
I
we
guess we'll
lose.
just make the most out of every opportunity. If he thinks that that's the case, well, you know what? We're here anyway. We might as well win it, right?
You see, everything happens for a reason. Because of that draw, we are on this stage, you know, for the Clippers to clip us.
That's true. We weren't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
But we were here because of one reason.
Yeah.
Aurora won Game 4.
Yep.
And today, at this very moment, we're gonna see them again.
We are.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are, because it's a best of 5.
Yes.
And we have one
Intelligent.
more game.
Yes.
Right? So one more game is ahead of us, boys. Do you have a message to Aurora PH and do you have a message to SRG? We'll start with Mars. All right.
Message.
Yeah, message for SRG.
Oh, usually I message using WhatsApp, but it's okay. I'm sending this message for SRG. Do your best because winning is easy. Just win. That's all.
Winning is easy, so just win. Thank you, Mars. That was very wise of
very
you.
wise.
Hans?
Yes. My message
Yes.
to Edward, I love you, bro. To Yue, you're my Pookie Bear. To Demon Kite and Doming Kite, you hold the 2 parts of my chest and the entirety of my heart. And to Light, you are my vision. When you have no fans, I am not here. When you have fans, we are all
Give him space.
here.
Give him space.
If I am here, You have a fan in me.
Yes.
And I
For like, do better.
thank you.
For Domain Kite, do your best.
All right. It's getting super chaotic up on stage, but you can feel the passion from these two representatives. Thank you, Hans. Thank you, Mars.
Thank you.
And thank you for the passion of the fans that are in the building right now, because this has been one of the wildest crowds we've seen here in M7. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the players are now ready. Who will take the first slots to the grand finals? Only time will tell. Let's throw it over back to our casters.
Count on Mars to give out of this world entertainment. Count on Hans to get the job done. And it was great to see both of them. Interesting dynamic. I kind of want to see more. Not gonna lie. I want to see more of Hans and Mars together.
We need an MPL podcast, and those two are the ones handling it.
Yeah.
Just to see what happens, just for funsies, maybe for an entire season.
Our belated birthday boy, happy birthday, Hans, got the full-on copy pasta.
Yeah.
I don't think Mars was informed that you could go long.
Yeah. He decided to just wait. I want to jump in on that.
That's not fair.
That's not fair. Let me help you glaze the Aurora right now. But again, thank you, Eterna, Hans, and Mars for that. But now, we got to get down to the nitty-gritty details of this game number 5. Because game number 4, again, we were going into the game thinking the glue, perfect pick. Early game, perfect. Wait, what's this over-aggression? But then that's the interesting thing here, because it's that little decision, that little close detail that could have made or break that game. Turns out we're gonna have to delay just a little bit the deep discussion for this series, because we're gonna have to thank some friends. And by reminding you that if you want that, well, in-game as a skin, but if you do want that, make sure you play your pass. The Thunder Ascendant skin. Ooh. Actually, that's not the Thunder Ascendant. This is the Prime version.
Yeah.
It's the level 75.
Yeah. The easier to get one, literally upon buying the pass, is the just as cool, but it's not this one. It's just similar though. All right. Just by getting Thunder, just by getting the pass, you get Thunder Ascendant immediately. All right.
It's like saying, yeah, we love him, but he's not our youngest son.
But we love him.
We love him, but
Which one of your kids would you save in a dire situation? Ideally, all of them, but I think that at least this time around, the figurines, I was a big fan of the Yuzong one. I was also a big fan of the Roger one. This one kind of smokes them. Really, really well detailed. Look at all the intricacies of it.
oh, yeah, I thought the Yuzong and the Cloud one were sick, but this is really special.
This is on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
This is Ascended.
Just to say that we were supposed to talk about the Thunder Ascendant skin, but we just ended up glazing the...
Cosmic Finality figure.
Yeah. Who has their pass to level 150 already?
Make some noise.
Okay, no one yet.
No one in the
Thank God. Now I don't feel this bad.
No, but Trex does, right? He flexed on us earlier and said that he already got his pass to 150.
Yeah, but he's a capitalist, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you can't just buy everything. It's not gonna just come to you that easily, especially when it comes down to competition. Well, maybe you could buy some friends to join the MRO, the MLBB Rising Open Season 5, because it's already back, still open to everyone and flexible to join now with major updates. Earn hero power from victories based on your weekly champion rank, and team up with friends to form a 5-player team to complete rewards and stack, win or lose. Earn MRO coins to redeem permanent skins, exclusive avatar borders, and more. Climb the weekly championship to qualify for the championship. Win bigger prizes and keep the M7 passion alive.
Yeah, buy your friends. I mean, tell your friends. Gather them together and complete the MLBB Rising Open.
Hey, if you're good at ML, I'm sure you have a lot of friends. A lot of people want to be your friend.
For sure. Hi, friends. Hopefully you're still cool.
I play a mean Yuzong. Anybody?
And a really good Leomord as well.
Oh, I was Edward. I was pretending to be Edward.
Ah, okay. Oh, wait, no, where's our Edward mask? They took it away from us. They should give us a player masks back, because now we're going to be heading to the game number 5. Side will determine flow. First 2 games, SRG. Previous 2 games, it was Aurora. So, who goes where? If you have the choice, if you're Aurora, would you want to still go blue, or would you want to switch it up?
I think it's SRG who chooses, though.
Yeah.
So, should we ask that question?
Okay, let's ask that question.
Ready? If we're SRG, what side? 3, 2, 1, blue.
Easily. Because again, a lot of it feels like red side is a lot more telegraphed if you are in SRG's position, right? You're expecting them to ban out the Freya. You're expecting them to ban out the CC as well, which allows you to kind of open up the options even more. And if by chance they do happen to get the Jushin, they're more than happy to first pick it.
Not to mention, by being blue, you're able to set the pace for yourself. You're able to dictate what you're allowed to trade for. And even if you are losing that red side second phase flex, versatility, and openness, you get to close up your draft first by going blue 4-5 and sitting on it. I think that's what SRG needs because of what happened in Game 4 where they were so loosey-goosey open about it. They have to tighten up their game. They do that by going blue.
This flying cloud again. It was a difficult time in the dangerous grass for Aurora, and SRG will go blue.
See value in
They
me.
banned the Buckshot and the
Yeah.
Friend. The 2 wins of Aurora in this game have been through a utility jungler.
Deserved bans from Demon Kite's penultimate performance on both of these monsters.
Gideon, I'm getting mad deja vu. It was in this very same arena about 3 years ago where it's these same heroes that were wreaking havoc in the jungle.
Frustrating as it is, it's very true as well. And coming into this, I do want to see what the adjustments is going to look like, right? Because now, looks like RORA has to make a decision on either banning the CC or getting rid of the Jushin. On the side of SRG, what else is actually worth banning at this point?
Let me just say, in before it happens, the only other legit threat as a utility pick is Redmar's favorite hero.
Give me the Panda.
The Akai?
I mean, I thought we were going to see it. I mean, I never want to be hopeful over an Akai because it seems like lately, every time the Akai comes up, it just doesn't do that well, so...
But it's been like here and there, you know, as a roamer, as an exterminator. But in the jungle, the Akai is a legit threat. That's one of the few other options that RORA has left if they want to play in the realm of utility junglers. That or the Barats.
If you want to really run it back, but I don't think we're going to get to that point. Juicy gets taken out. Will it either be the Eve or Kalei as a priority for SRG?
Kind of tough to say here, right? Because if they do lean Yums back into the Kalea, the Yve all of a sudden falls into the hands of Aurora, and they've dealt with the Yve many times before in the previous games, and they know they just need to get behind them. But it does force out a bunch of Purifies as well.
What if they go Yuzong this time? Oh, they don't. Oh, I actually didn't want to pose this possibility. Because if they go Claude here...
Freya's open.
Freya's open. Aurora are willing to give that Claude up, meaning that they are probably going to go for something like the Leomord style aggressive lineups.
Or they go Freya, Ys, and Shin.
Oh, so that it isn't a little bit too Gila with the aggressiveness and they balance it out. You still need a little bit of farm.
Yeah. This could be potentially scary, right? The Freya would be interesting to see. They go for Kimmy alongside with the Khalid to double down on that mid lane, completely omitting the matchup and saying, you know what, we can wait. Let's pose a different problem.
There's no need to rush it. We know that the Claude is here. How Gila would SRG be to lock down both just to fix that matchup? There's no way they're going Claude Freya, so they're open to play whatever they want, and this is... What does this say for Aurora? Are they going for speed? Are they going for the throat here?
I think they want to minimize Yum's impact because they're dealing with Yum's playmaking capabilities. Now it's about how much impact he has in the game. With the Hilda, it's high impact. But now, when you have access to the Khalid, even if you give the Yve on over, hey, you hit me a couple of times, that's fine. I'll heal back up, I'll still clear waves faster than you, and I will always be a threat.
They pick up the Zetian without the Cho or without the Hilda available. Aurora can just spend the next 2 bans here, taking out the best heroes he can pair with the Zetian. As I mentioned, the Cho, as it helps clear out the minion waves much quicker. You know, those heroes that want to pack a concussive blast so that they can get that fast clear. Will they pick up the gold laner here so that they don't have to worry about it too much? And they will. They want a Dominant Guide on the Harith that for a good amount of 2025 was the most feared pick in the hands of Aurora Gaming Philippines.
Does mean that Aurora needs to start thinking about the second half of the draft now. They could go back into a sandbag style of EXP laner, but considering the Yuzong performance we saw the last time, the Zetian is going to be a little bit harder to deal with overall, especially when her passive is up.
Yeah, if anything, it's SRG who has room to play maybe the Yuzong. Again, you're already ruining the formations with the Fury of the Phoenix. What more? A rogue dragon flying around. I think Aurora should consider taking out EXP lane options. There's one. There's the Esmeralda.
Yeah. Not only EXP, but Flex as well. SRG still has some room of flexibility for their Roam and EXP combined. So
I don't know if they're worried about damaged EXP laners, right? Because when I'm looking at the lineup, they're like, yes, there are people who are susceptible, but they also fall to the same tragedy of Alice at the end of the day. And that's something that we've seen SRG whip out multiple times.
And I'm worried because Aurora may have gotten overloaded. A lot of Cram's favorites are still available. The Uranus, the Phoveus,
Yuzong, Alice, Arlott. And Arlotts usually are one of the responses.
They can't ban all of those.
Yeah, exactly. So it's damage control for Aurora. Well, for Salong or Red Giants, they will be very happy that they have a wide pool of EXP laners that they could go for. Especially if Aurora decide to show their EXP laner already on Blue 4 in the hopes of trying to minimize what Cram can pick, they might just end up with a better matchup.
If I'm reading the draft correctly, Red 4 is going to be for Demon Kite. And then they'll try to win that EXP lane matchup via Red 5. Because again, if Cram doesn't play well, I think it's safe to say, Gideon, you can back me up, SRG just do not take off.
No, not with the ban on the Alice here. I think they're going to go Uranus instead and then hold up for Fanny to maybe potentially attack Stormy in the mid lane pre-level 4.
There you go. They can't ban everything, but they can narrow it down.
I wouldn't be so confident with picking up the Fanny if we are gonna let Yumes get the Cho again, get Cho Zetian together. That's very fast wave clear to set up for Sakai's.
That's why Red 5 is open. That's what RORA's hedging on.
There's the Arlott. I like the Uranus because then SRG would want to pick up the Lapu-Lapu, but they won't really have a lot of the damage to annoy that Uranus as much. But hell, it's Edward. He might just end up saying, Coach, give me something explosive. Give me something that can set up and be aggressive.
If we do see the Uranus here, I think it's going to be Kalia Lapu or Kalia Yuzong for the side of SRG.
This land is our home.
Oh, they take Lapu. What?
I think it is what I said. It was like, Coach, let me be me.
There's room for the Yisun Shin still. So I think they're both protecting the Yisun Shin and just picking up good peel. And again, taking it away as well from Cram.
It just means that RORA is going to be playing towards the gold side of their map, right? Because they don't know what the Lapu-Lapu is going to deal with. He's kind of going in blind into this draft. So whether he quote-unquote wins the matchup or not isn't really up to him.
And I think SRG can also just pick up the Uranus so they can kind of stop this imminent Yisun Shin threat.
But what if it is going to be utility for Aurora, though? I mean, they are going to be lacking the vision, and the Mountain Shocker would be great against a Zetian. Yes, I will say it now. Yisun Shin is the most likely pick. But what if it is utility? What if they are looking at Lapu-Lapu and Kali thinking, we have enough physical, let's set up for our magic damage dealers, and let's pick up utility in the jungle.
What's left? SRG here, lock in the CC for Cram and the Gatot for Yumes. What utilities left besides the Barats and the Akai? It's even Guinevere got banned.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Just give me my panda. I mean, yeah, again, Wise is most likely, but just give me my panda.
Because I'm also 50-50 on this. I'm
Prepare for the return.
There it is! There it is! We alluded to it! Oh, we're pretty good at this. We could be analysts.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Again, really good call here. If they went for the Yisun Shin, it would just be too much economy to invest. But what a composition. And I think even from the side of SRG, they were alluding to it with the CC.
It's deep for this.
I will say this now, though. This is so close, and I'm glad that the stats show it. Early to mid-game potential leaning towards Aurora. Late-game potential, a little bit more SRG recovers there. The stats are leaning towards Aurora. But this is definitely one of those lineups where you cannot mess up. Perfect MLBB is what's needed. Who are we feeling for these drafts? Real quick, Gideon.
I'm going to say SRG on this one.
I didn't call the Akai for nothing. Let's go, Aurora!
I'm guessing Rora here. This will be legendary. This will determine who makes it to the grand finals first. Mirko and Naisu set the stage for us.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the last game of the evening. We've had a hell of a series, and now it's come down to this, a game of 5 to get to the grand final. Will it be the first ever for the Malaysians to make it an M-Series grand final, or will it be RORA to make it their way to be the first Filipino team in M7 to get to the grand final spot. Here we are, it's me, Naisu, and Mirko to bring you this game 5.
And either way, Naisu, what a story. The first Malaysian team to make it to a World Championship, or RORA Gaming Philippines, a team coming into this tournament with a narrative of the chokers, the ones who always fail when it matters most, the one that finally gets to shine the brightest in the world stage.
Be massive either way, man. The story couldn't be better for either team to make it through. And, you know, to even go through this draft and bring an Akai, for example, a utility hero that doesn't get picked up pretty much at all. But because of the way the draft and the bans went, and because there was a really hard focus on Demon Kite's utility picks, he goes to the Akai. And you always have to remember, like, this hero alone could either work for your team or against it.
Okay. I thought it was going to be a big miscalculation there, not hitting level 4, but he ends up getting the XP crab anyways, so really, it's all good. Emblems-wise, I don't think there's anything too crazy here, right? It really looks like just the standard stuff. The Impure Rage for Demon Kite. I guess he's just thinking there's not going to be any invades. He's going to be fine because he's up against a Leomord, not an assassin, right? Sky's Phantom Steed over on Light has the flicker, will use it, and now Phantom Steed is down, so RORA have a chance.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. Even though the flicker was used by Light, Turtle is up. Demon Kite's going to go ahead and start it up. Cram hitting that level 4 too, so they'll get in position for the first turtle of the game, but without a Phantom Steed, this might be a little difficult.
And all in over on Humes. Fury of the Phoenix coming down. 4-man stun as well. Cram now from the side. Pops in the current call. Does a bit of damage over the Demon Kite, but the red tree is there for him to claim Turtle 1.
It's all they need, clean and steady right now. First objective secured. Nothing too fancy with this kind of lineup. That's not what you're going to see here. Now for SRG, they might be the ones to be a little more aggressive because of the fact that they brought the Leomord in play, plus they have the Zetian that they can rely on. And again, Innocent going on this hero that he's played so many times, is able to go ahead and scale up really well on this Claude. The same can be said for Demon Kite. There was a thing, you know, back in the MPL Philippines, he was the best Harith in the league and probably the best still. So this is such a great matchup, you know, that Harith, that Claude that we've been seeing so much throughout the Swiss stage. And even now, even though he was kind of slept on a little bit in the beginning stage of the knockouts, Claude is still a menace to deal with. And so with that, again, you're just going to see a whole lot of poking back and forth. You know, this is a little bit different too because we've seen so much of Cho, for example, where you're playing around that level 4, the Kaleas, right, the pick-off potential.
He's going to be caught on the Raging Sandstorm there. Good timing by Doming. They're actually waiting around the BMI, and he actually gets the resets too. So I'm not even sure if Innocent actually got the gold crab, but he lost that on Purify, and now he's low.
Yeah, he's low right here. He's going to have to rely on SRG just in case they need to support him up here in that gold lane. But Doming Kite fine, unless they go for something else. SRG might be looking for a play elsewhere. They still have 30 seconds for that turtle to be up. Demon Kite, again, tanky enough. One of the players that still really likes to lean towards utility junglers if they can. I mean, we saw a really good kind of back and forth between the utility compositions, but teams were still pretty much, I would say, like almost 80% of the time, maybe 90% of the time, pick up assassin junglers. Demon Kite, a specialist, I would say, as utility jungle. So buff secured, Turtles up, second one of the game. RORA Gaming Philippines already in position. Light has the angle here if he wants to go for it. Traction pulse.
Yeah, lands on Stormy, a bit more pro coming down as Bravest Fighter gets used up by Edward. Now with the stun on 2. Fury of the Phoenix as well. Sky's looking for the opening now, but Demon Kite goes in and it's giving the red tree win. He goes for the heavy spin. Now Sky's gonna be pinned down over to Turtle.
Oh, Sakai's pinned down. Can't get away. First blood to Demon Kite and the second turtle.
What a pin up top. Domingue gets a shot down. Oh my goodness, he might be going for the dive, but he misses the synchro vision and he calls it quits. Demon Kite up top with the pressure. This is the systematic RORA Gaming Philippines in a game 5, bro. They went back to their comfort.
This is back to the roots, right? Oh no, Oops. Is he gonna get zoned in here?
The escape. I don't think RORA want to bite on this pick, yeah. Instead, they rotate back. They just go for the turret now. That's gonna be the shots coming in from Stormy as Demon Kite gets taken low, but Selangor Red Giants can't push in forward.
They had to do that, though. At least Humes was there to go ahead and keep that turret alive, even though it just got a sliver of health left. They keep that going. Now, looking at the itemization here, first item's already locked in for the gold laners, DHS for Innocent. You got the Starlium Scythe now for Doming Kite. defensively too, things being a whole lot of tough boots, of course, to deal with that crowd control, but only that Fury Hammer, and still Sakai is working on that first item here for this Leo Mord. And same thing, I mean, Stormy on the Sentinel, whoa, they're not stopping.
1v1, BMI out with the Blazing Wind already used. Light now comes in with damage, raging Sandstorm from Light. The Fury of the Phoenix catches him on their turret, so at least there's a trade. As Demon Kite's gonna be chased down as Skies pops the Steed. But again, he just rotates up top. He will deny the turret take.
Great response, but a better trade for Aurora Gaming Philippines. You know, you're trading out your gold laner for the roam. Light goes down, but here's Yums.
Heavy spin, pinning him down. Pops gonna revitalize in time, but can he escape? No, the Synchro Fission pops him through.
They got the payback for the roam right there as they lock down Yums. So a great response once again. That turret's still gonna stay up. Third turtle of the game here in a few seconds. Now the War Axe available to Skies. He's got that. He's got his buff as well. He actually wants to go ahead and contest this though. As Demon Kite's grabbing his purple. Light's giving the information over here, but they're gonna be able to rotate just in time for this turtle.
That's so much damage on Skies. Half HP. AOG coming down with Raging Sandstorm from Light. And Demon Kite with the retry gets it. Innocent pops in a Blazing Duet.
Demon Kite's done it again, and now they're gonna be going for Yums.
Cram in the midst of it all. Pops in a curtain call. Now going for the chase, but it's gonna be the Kite away. Now it's Edward onto Stormy, forcing the flicker out as Doming goes up top. Doesn't have some on-force. Light goes in over the Cram, but it gets away in time with the sprint. Meanwhile, Edward in mid again, holding Innocent and Yums down.
Ooh, it looks like SRG is just trying to catch their breath in this game 5. If it's not Demon Kite securing the objectives, it's Edward crashing on, forcing battle spells down. Light on this side of the map. Behind enemy lines, there's Demon Kite.
Finds Innocent, Purify out there. Fear of the Phoenix coming down, but Doming gets the turret. Now Cram looking for the trade, pops in the curtain call. Edward in the midst of it all. Now 2-match done by Edward. Sky still able to escape with the help of the Yums. Demon Kite goes in with the headbutts.
Oh, Sakai's is gone. This is all on the side of the jungle of SRG. They'll capitalize another kill and the buff. Aurora Gaming Philippines is not letting up at all. They've got control of this game.
And with every fight they take, they push the lead a bit more towards them. It started off as a 1K gold lead. I swore in the early game, it looked like, all right, SRG are gonna scale, they're gonna try to play it slow, but then they go for these fights and you're like, okay, it looks even, some of these trades. Then Light comes in with a big Raging Sandstorm. Edward gets a big chunk of damage of AoE with the slashes.
These are some of the most comfort picks that Aurora Gaming Philippines has played in the last professional season of the MPL Philippines, and they're showcasing it here today in Game 5. And even for SRG, you could say these are comfort picks too, to an extent. But right now, they're just getting outmaneuvered around the map. And that's the power always of when you think you have this utility jungler, you can move the way you want to move around the map, you can find that lockdown that you're looking for, and it just layers so well. So for SRG, if they want to approach this in the best way possible, it's all on that scaling for Innocent. He's got to be able to get there. He still has plenty of time. He is behind though, right? You're at the 9-minute mark. Again, that Trinity for the Claude usually before the 10-minute mark. He does pick up a golden staff, so he's down one item on this. And that's very difficult. Here's the Lord fight though. Are they gonna take it?
Light was able to bait out the passive of Stormy already. Look at how fast they're blitzing the Lord. Traction pulse over Innocent, able to bring him back, and that's Demon Kite securing Lord 1. Aurora pulling no stops.
Man, I don't know how you stop this panda, man. Demon Kite on the Sakai. It's one of the better heroes. I know it's slept on in the draft, but it's still one of the better heroes to go ahead, secure objectives. If anybody gets close, you can usually heavy spin them away to get that retribution off. And they're gonna take this tier 2 tower up top as Demon Kite just stares down SRG, threatening them to force a fight if they want to. Holy Crystal now online. Over here for Demon Kite. Just checking things out with the Raging Sandstorm.
Want to debate a few resources, right? Innocent just backs away with a BMI. But again, this lead is getting to a point where it's a big problem. Like Selangor Red Giants, they have Innocent to scale. Zetian, I'm guessing as well. Traction pulse baits out the BMI. But they don't really have a body right now. Sky's a 0-3-0. I don't think he can pull off an Edward on Yuzong type of 0-3-0, Brian.
Yeah, this is going to be way more difficult to make it worth for Cram and the rest of the team of SRG. You know, you waited 10 and a half minutes. You got to start to make something happen here because you're in this last game, this game 5, with that potential chance to get to the grand final on the line here for both of these teams. But look at the difference in itemization across the board. It's tough, man. Youm's probably the closest here amongst it all. Yeah, he's only 600 gold difference, but I'll tell you what, the impact of Light right now in this Khalid is just doing so much more than what Youm's is capable of doing. If that means just getting the passive out from Stormy, if that means getting some of the battle spells, and even then, the Raging Sandstorm is threat enough, and Light knows it. And that's why they're able to go ahead and play that upper hand. Also, on the gold lane, you still need so much more time for Innocent here. He's building into that Corrosive Scythe. But even so, if that Trinity is online, it's going to be a hell of a time to get into the fight, man, because of the fact that you have Nakai to worry about. You have also Light there peeling for the team, or starting things up in Edward as well. So now this purple buff for the taking from SRG. You're still plenty of time, 40 seconds away from this Lord to come up.
And now SRG are forced to, again, group up together. Stick is 3 into the bottom lane. They're being starved by Aurora Gaming Philippines right now. There's no way for them to actually just brute force walk into their own jungle alone. And Light's been able to take these poke like it's nothing.
Yeah.
Stormy, this is a 100% win rate Zetian, right? Is it still a 100% win rate? I believe so. So, oh my, Innocent? PMI already. Light wants to go in. Raging Sandstorm! Innocent pops in the Blazing Duet. And he pops in a Purify as well. That's big Edward! 2-man stun with the Bravest Spider. Now goes back. That is all they need.
Oh, okay. Fury of the Phoenix used there too. Keeping things under control. But the Lord is up now. Battle spell down. That's the Purify for Innocent. And so, if SRG is thinking about contesting this Lord, it's probably not going to happen.
They cannot. Not without a Purify on the main man.
They just got to wait. They got to buckle in as Lord is going to be secured here for Aurora Gaming Philippines. At the 12:40-minute mark, Divine Glaive picked up now too for Dome and Kite. And they have everything they need to approach the space of SRG. I'm not saying they can end it here, but with this kind of lead, 8,000+ gold at this point, this type of itemization and this composition could potentially end it off of a first Lord push.
Demon Kite, over the course of, I would say, the run to get it to upper bracket finals, has been behind against Carl Teasy in gold, losing out individually against, again, I feel like also against Izuki, losing out individually in gold. And it's usually because he's on a utility pick. Now he's on a Kai, and he's 2,000 gold ahead of Skies.
Like, who else is going to play the Akai? Other than maybe Demon Kite and, I don't know, Carl Teasy.
Can't think of anyone else who's still in MLBB.
Right? It's one of those things, yeah. There's Redmar. I can hear him in my ear, man. Redmar will probably play it too. He is him.
Gotta get that check.
Gotta get that check. There's the Lord pushing into this bottom turret. They want to go ahead and potentially force this.
Innocent already with the BMI. That's gonna be the Lord taking down the base turret in the bottom lane. This is quite big, but it's not the worst for Selangor Red Giants, just because, again, Lord's gonna be spawning in the bottom lane, so they'll be able to handle it here. Light.
Well, look at Sky. He's going on this off angle too. Is he actually gonna initiate a fight? From this angle, no. They clear out the minions. Lord is cleared as well. They lost one base turret. And so this, more than anything, is Aurora Gaming Philippines knowing that they're up 10,000 gold, but sticking to mastering the basics here, man. I hate to say it, right? But they are doing exactly that. They're sticking with the basics. They're sticking to the fundamentals. And every team will go ahead and say how important that is. Even when you have this kind of lead, you can't lose that focus. And Steed.
Steven Kite in with a headbutt. That's gonna be Light caught on the back spot, taunted down as well by Youms. Here the Phoenix locking him down to AOG as well onto Edward, but he is CC immune with the Bravest Spider.
Youms does not want to, okay, he doesn't have AOG. This is interesting though. SRG just kind of keeping Aurora Gaming in check, but here's the re-engage. Zaman Force drop down. And it's just the answer, the response from Aurora Gaming.
How is it still so tense with a 10,000 gold lead, dude?
The crazy thing is 1-5 in terms of the kills, right? But there's this tension in this game 5 between these two teams because I just think is at what's stake here, Miracle. It's that grand final spot. It's a huge story for both teams to get there. And SRG they understand that we got to go ahead and just buckle in. We need to go ahead and scale up. Like I said, your Innocent is nearly there. He's got to get a little bit of defensiveness, obviously. Winter Nature, we've also seen Winter Crowns pop up too. Might be the case in this sense when we get, if they can extend it. I don't know, 5+ minutes. They got to get to the 20-minute mark, I feel like, here. Divine Glaive picked up by Stormy, though. This fight for the Lord, it looks like they want to actually contest this Lord, though, if they can.
But can they? Traction Pulse already baited out there. Light already backing away. Now the bottom wave. They have to deal with it. But Doming and Demon Kite are still holding on to it. Selangor Red Giants say, we cannot contest. Aurora Gaming Philippines secure the Lord. Huh? Oh, Skies.
I think the fam seed might have been just thrown out there just to see if he could get the orange buff. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, they knew they couldn't fight and contest. So they'd rather go ahead and defend into the base. Malefic Gun actually picked up here.
Wow.
4 Innocent might be just saying, you know what? Let's just make this defense count. Let's make this one potentially turn it around. We need a crucial defense to stay in this. As Lord makes its way down the bottom side, Conceal's going to be used.
It's going to be popped as well, though. Edward goes in with the Bravest Fighter. Now jumps all the way into the backline, but Innocent's able to pop in a blazing when it gets sustained. Winter Crown already from Edward. And now the base, Beauty of the Phoenix.
Oh, they get stunned here. Check, the Lord is going to be worked on. Wow. And it looks like SRG, even with 11,000 gold deficit, will still be able to defend.
That was... Wait, Yums takes a long route over. Kram dives onto Edwin with a curtain call, but now he's caught in a bad spot. He has to sprint. He's able to get away. Light with the Raging Sandstorm and the Flicker. Now it's Kram turning things around with the help of Yums as well. He goes for the taunt as Innocent's right there. Doming!
There's a jump on the defense. They want to disengage, and it looks like Aurora wants to do the same. Oh. This is the tension we've been talking about. Wow.
Folks, my heart is beating so hard right now, and it's not the Red Bull. It's not the Red Bull, it's the game.
Oh man, this game has wings. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't even know how SRG has been able to go ahead and have such great base defense. Aurora Gaming, even playing around that Lord, man, they just haven't been able to get much use out of the Lords.
At least now it's value, because even with that Lord not getting anything,
yeah.
Look at where the next Lord placement is. It's up top, so they have the far lane control in the bottom lane without having to do anything, right? So that's a win still for Aurora Gaming Philippines. The only loss they took there is the scaling of SRG. Now, Innocent has more time to build up to either a Winter Crown, probably Winter Crown, not Winter Nature here.
Mirko, the impressive thing is SRG doesn't have anything on the map. Like, they've been able to defend in the base despite...
Not a single turret, you're right.
That's what I'm saying. Not a single turret is down. Nothing has gone right in terms of objectives for SRG. But what has gone right is the fact that they've somehow buckled in. They're nearing that 20-minute mark, and that's where I was saying that was the crucial point for them to potentially turn a game around. That's why we always say, even when you're down this much gold, depending on how your composition is and the items that you have, you can still be a threat to this team. And that's why Aurora Gaming Philippines, we say it's discipline, but at some point, at what point do you say, man, they waited way too long. They hesitated too long to end the game. They weren't able to end the game. They love MLBB that much.
They love MLBB, dude.
Almost 20 minutes here. Lord up, evolve this time. This might be the first time that SRG actually decides to contest a Lord here, but Stormy's so far away, Light's gonna be able to spot this out as Aurora Gaming Philippines holds on to the Lord. It's under half health.
That wave's not good. Stormy has to rotate, but Light is holding this position already. They're holding it in, just barely at the edge of it. Edward with the Bravest Fighter coming out now. Skies also behind the panel. Seeing Light in the back line, able to bomb into Purify. Purify Phoenix Light's gonna be caught. He's able to heal in time. Good stun by Edward. Demon can't get him, but now Cram walks in forward. Light pops in, Conceal. Aurora Gaming Philippines get the evolved Lord.
That is a massive Lord to walk in to potentially end the game. And as I've been saying for SRG, they have defended time and time again. The Giants will not have their fortress taken so easily. Can they do it again? They have to. That's the only option they have. Light still has an immortality. The Lord finally spawning and making its way down the bottom side here. How can they pull this off? SRG, They've got to almost have a miracle for this one.
They played it perfect in the last Lord fight, but it's hard to do it when it's an evolved Lord.
Yeah.
Aurora can just stack up around the Lord. And look at the turn in the mid lane, it's so low.
Half health here, under half health for that mid turret. Lord makes its way down the bot. They've got to deal with it here.
Fraction pulse doesn't land on anyone. Now it's going to be Innocent, trying to deal as much damage as possible as Edward dives into the back. Innocent pops in the lazy to win over on Edward, but this raging stack just comes through. They're fighting on the Lord. Demon Kai already using a heavy spin. That's going to be Yums jumped away from Fury the Phoenix.
Fury the Phoenix is using, they're still going.
They deal with the Lord, live with raging sandstorm. Yums still able to survive Innocent. BMI to the back as Doming already uses his Amon Force. Mid lane base turn with ball. How the Selangor Red Giants hold on to this game.
Selangor Red Giants won't have the base taken so easily.
Against an evolved Lord.
Man, they still do it. They don't have any space to work with. No base, no turrets down. But they're still showing that they can defend and fight against Aurora Gaming. That is an evolved Lord that was dealt with in the best way possible.
We are still at 6 kills.
That hasn't changed in a while, Miracle. I mean, 6 kills, no turrets.
When was the last time one of them died, dude?
I'll tell you what, I don't know if that's the pro of having this kind of lineup for Aurora Gaming, or for SRG, and the con of Aurora Gaming's lineup. It works so good in the beginning, but, you know, at this point of the game, they're having a difficult time actually punching it in and ending it, you know? And we have seen this when it has been utility compositions and that require a setup that has to be perfect. This is the trouble. Winter Crown now available for Innocent.
And a rose gold too, nice too. He sold his boots. He's bootless. Man's barefoot.
Barefoot Claude. A Winter Crown 2 for Sakai's fight with this Lord again. Look at Light's positioning. What are they going to do? Traction pulse thrown out?
Wait, Cram already used the curtain call. It's on Yue. Light has a very, very good flank on him. Zetian, does he spot him out? He's able to spot him out now as Edward goes over to stun. Fury the Phoenix, locking him down. Edward losing immortality. Now Sky's gonna go in as well, but he's gonna be pinned down by Demon Kai, and no one's there to actually dish out damage. Skies will fall to Yue.
They take out Sakai's, they can get the Lord.
Fighting new weapon Innocent with the Winter Crown as well. Demon Kai's gonna be taken very, very low, but he's able to find immortality in time. Doming in the back as well, doing this with the stop. Cram still there doing damage in his heart.
Innocent's still alive, and he gets the space, but Demon Kai will take him out.
He got cooked by the Chrono Dash. Domang has all the shields in the world. Now it's Yums who falls. Cram has immortality. He's gonna fall as well. Evolved Lord in the mid lane as Cram dishes out damage to Light, but he's gonna be gunned down by Yue.
And that's gonna be it as the Lord makes its way down the mid with Aurora Gaming.
The stage that once haunted them now rises for them. The Northern Lights do not fade. It ignites the grand finals.
That ignition, that light will be witness to the entire world. A chance at redemption, a chance at history, and a chance to prove the doubters wrong. Aurora Gaming Philippines makes it to the grand finals in an epic 3-2 series against SRG.
Oh, the chokers, the failures, the boys who were doubted, the boys who were never meant to be, have just made it to the grand finals. Defeating Selangor Red Giants, who to this point were undefeated at the M7 World Championship. They were the ones to get to match point first, yet Aurora PH stayed consistent. They built, they endured, and now they'll light up the grand final stage.
Again, one of the best matches we've seen here. And again, it's not over for SRG. They still have an opportunity, a chance to get to the grand finals. They go down in the lower bracket, man, and I'll say what, like Aurora Gaming Philippines grinded for this one, and they made it happen.
Naisu, that lower bracket is literally, figuratively, in all sense of the word, is hell. We got Liquid down there, Spirit, Alter Ego.
And now, SRG.
Damn, bro.
Hey, if you guys have just joined us for some reason in the knockout stage, I'll tell you what, M7 World Championship has been so far the best games we've had in a long time, maybe in ever. And this is just a showcase of how good the teams have gone over the course of the years. And yes, it's still the Philippines getting to the grand finals first, but I'll tell you what, I don't know who's gonna end up there in the second spot.
Last time we were in Jakarta, it was a Philippines Grand Finals. Will it be the same? Liquid are still down there. They are still hungry to complete the Golden Road.
We'll find out. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Naisu, and Mirko that has brought you this series. We're gonna throw it on stage to hear for our winner's interview.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your first M7 World Championship Grand Finalist, Pilipinas! Give it up for Aurora Gaming Philippines! What an intense series. And of course, we have the entire team with us here. Demon Kite, after last year's early exit, you guys have completely turned the tables around to redeem yourself and reach to the grand finals. How important is this victory to you and of course to Aurora Gaming Philippines?
Sobrang importante kasi kumbaga ito yung namin yung revenge namin dun sa last run namin ng M6 So sobrang importante sa team and yun, sobrang saya lang na nakapag-grand finals kami.
He said that this win actually means so much to them because it's practically a revenge from their run back in the M6 last year. And of course, they're very much happy on this incredible run to make it to the grand finals, Aeterna.
We could tell. Right as the winning moment happened, they were still busy looking at their own gameplay. So even up until this point, even at this winning moment, they're still considering, I think, what's going through, what happened in that earlier game. But now we go to Light. Light, in your first season with the team, you were able to go all the way to the grand finals. And now here, take to M7, another grand finals. Like, could you talk to us about the hurdles or the challenges that you faced that led you to this point right now?
Sige, Light, Tagalog.
You can speak in Tagalog and Rose can translate.
Alam yun Ano ba yung hurdle?
Parang anong pinakamalaking pinagdaanan
Challenges
nyo?
na kinarap ko,
Yes.
ganun. Hindi siya madali since per season. Tapos yung pinalitan ko rin kasi magaling naman talaga si RORA. Tapos marami rin siyang sa team, parang na-achieve sila together. Tapos ako napapasok na bago, ganun. Siguro yung mga dapat kong malagpasan na challenges is yung pressure and also yung magiging open sa kanila kasi ako yung bagong salta. So medyo kailangan talaga siya matimbang ng mabuti, ganun.
He said that actually it wasn't easy, definitely, because he entered Aurora Gaming Philippines. He had definitely big shoes to fill after Renegade, who has shared and helped the team so much. So the biggest challenges he had to overcome, of course, it was the pressure, and he had to be open to, the four-man who has already built their chemistry.
That's definitely understandable, Rose.
Yes, I agree. And I'm pretty sure, and I heard from the Swiss Stages interview that Light is actually the light of the team. So I think he blended in just right. And of course, Yue. We know that this series is definitely not an easy series because SRG was already at match point. And oh my goodness, that was insane to watch. But Yue, how are you guys able to maintain your composure knowing that potentially the first ticket to the grand finals was on the line?
Siguro yung tiwala namin sa isa't isa is nandun pa rin. Then yung composure or yung moral namin is hindi siya bumaba. Tapos yun, nilaro lang namin yung laro namin.
He said actually they just trusted each other really well. And despite being at match point, their composure and their morale didn't actually drop down. They just had to play like how they usually did. And you know what? That got them their first ticket, Aeterna.
And honestly, not a lot of teams can do that, right? When they're under pressure, when everything is on the line, especially one chance to get to the grand finals, not a lot of teams can reset Again, the fans are going crazy in the building, but I want to talk to Mr. Consistent. Yes, Mr. Consistent, Edward. This is your 5th M Series appearance, and you were able to secure your 3rd Grand Final appearance here right now. We gotta ask you, what makes it different for you this time around?
Siguro ngayon, iba na yung nakakasabay na lahat ng team, lahat ng bansa nakakasabay na. And lahat nag-step up na. So, yun siguro.
He said the biggest difference this time around is that all the regions are actually stepping up. And when everybody's stepping up, of course, the competition does get tighter. And when the competition does get tighter, it's definitely harder for all the teams participating. And I do agree, we see so many of the dark horses coming to rise this M7. Yeah. And of course, Dominkite. Coming into the M Series, there were so many doubts surrounding the team after your run in M6 last year, and even the team recognized that. But with this victory, is there anything you would like to say to everybody who has doubted your journey?
Sa lahat ng doubters, wala eh. Ganyan talaga yung mga yan eh. Kasi wala, pagpatuloy lang nila pagdadoubt sa amin and pinapakita naman namin sa game kung ano yung dapat pakita.
He said to all the doubters, he can't do anything about that because, well, that's them. They'll just doubt. What they can do, however, is prove them otherwise in the game.
Potential champion mentality?
Potential champion mentality indeed, Adirna.
And with that, before we let you go, boys, we gotta ask the final question to each and every one of you. All right. Who do you think you will be facing in the grand finals? Or rather, who would you rather be facing in the grand finals? We still have a few teams left looking for that final slot in the grand finals. We have Alter Ego from Indonesia. We have Team Spirit, EECA, SRG, Aurora Turkey A, and of course, TLPH. Let's start with you, Yue.
For me, TLPH.
TLPH. What about you, Light?
It's either SRG or TLPH.
Ooh. Edward?
TLPH or SRG.
Ooh, still similar opinions here. Doming?
TLPH and SRG.
TLPH and SRG.
Oh my, Eterna. This is honestly a potential grand finals that everybody don't want to miss. And of course, Edward, now that a Filipino representative finally has a ticket to the grand final, is there anything at all that you want to say to the Filipinos in the arena and those back at home?
Yun, maraming salamat sa patuloy na pagsuporta sa amin sa Aurora. And bumili na kayo ng grand finals tickets.
Is that thank you so much for the continuous support for Aurora Gaming Philippines, and don't forget to get your grand final tickets.
Nice, promotional. Very promotional.
Definitely. That was an intense upper bracket final match, and of course we will throw it back to the panel to dissect what happened in this amazingly crazy series. Panel, we're throwing it back to you guys.
History is made and Aurora Gaming Philippines goes to the grand finals! To all the Auroras and to the Filipinos who showed up, thank you for all your support. But of course, for the Malaysian audience, we have the SRG fans. The run is not over yet. They are still in the lower bracket finals, waiting for the team that will challenge their potential stake in the grand final slot. That was a massive lead by Aurora, but the tension was thick in the air because it got to the point where SRG could have turned things around, man.
I'll take it from Miracle himself, right? He was feeling that tension. All of us here in the arena were feeling that tension. You could cut it with a knife that was that palpable. But when we look at that final game and really break it down, it's a battle of wits, it's a battle of mental, and clearly Aurora just maintained rock solid like cement, did not budge.
Aurora threw back to plenty of the old hits, the greatest hits in terms of Filipino MLBB. They started by drafting very ube. They threw back to an old hero that literally all of us, none of us thought of up until that very last moment of what if it was the Akai, and indeed it was. And that allowed for them to play very similarly to the M5 World Champions, AP Bren, now Team Falcons PH, where it's a battle of attrition. They were literally just taking all of the resources away from SRG, slowing down the potential comeback, and responsible for keeping forward that momentum. And then in the late game, just ruining the back line is none other than their newest addition, Dilan Katipon, light on that Khalid.
What I could never understand is why there were just so many people doubting this team with so many good players, so many staples. It was just a matter of time before they achieve international greatness, and Light has been waiting for it after his time with RSGPH, winning MSC, and then never seeing an international until this very day. He's in the grand finals on a Khalid of all things, and better yet, ruining Stormy's day, making sure he never had his passive, making sure every step that SRG made across the bottom side of the map was visible.
Now it's time for us to see who the player of the match is. How poetic that it's Light leading the charge in this series-winning game. And the player of the match is the man himself. Poetic. The Northern Lights led by Light on this Khalid. You mentioned how Stormy had a lot of difficulty here, but I think it was the entirety of SRG who eventually felt just how annoying it is to try and find position in the map when the Khalid is going everywhere.
Yeah, very similar to a Hilda that can do all the things you want a roamer to do plus more. In the late game, even in the late game here in the twilight of that match, you can see that when Light finds Stormy, when even Light finds Innocent, they're threatened to die. That's how scary a Khalid is. And if I'm not wrong, he did not build a single damage item. He was literally just using his full kit and, what was that, a blade armor.
He was trying his absolute best to make sure that the backline was never great, because when you look at this composition, right, they cannot win a 4v4. You need the full 5, and that's why you're seeing Innocent walk up in really dangerous positions, because Zitan is nowhere to be found to actually do the peeling, do the poking. He needs to build up stacks anyway. He might as well put himself in a dangerous spot.
We posed that question, that what if for SRG, that what if the loss from game number 4 affects their mental and we don't get to see them play the way they do. The coach mastered the basics and Dexstar said, let's add another layer to that. Let's pick up heroes that forces that to happen. You doubt everything in the map when the Khalid is around. You doubt how you team fight objectives when an Akai is around. And that Akai pick, and no, this isn't my Akai bias because that is my favorite hero in the game. We've seen it in all throughout MLBB history. When the game is close, when there is even a slight lead on the Akai side, heavy spin just rattles any team's mind.
And just to add on to the throwback, the walk down memory lane for Aurora, thrown back to all of the old Filipino meta favorites. They also went back to just hard macro, no deaths. Yeah. All we're literally gonna do is gonna play the game. For about 15 minutes of that game, they only had 6 kills, and that's it.
Yeah, this was a throwback, a massive throwback to history here in Tennis Indoor Stadium, Senayan in Jakarta, Indonesia. It's RORA making it to the grand finals first. Edward back once again in the grand finals. This time, what if the story of Aurora wasn't to win at home, it was to win in another country, continuing the legacy of the Philippines. But to hearken to what Mirko and Naisu said, this lower bracket is literal L.
Yep, it's dangerous. I think this is one of the few M series that nobody really knows what's going to happen at this stage. And I think, as you heard it from the man himself, every region has stepped up. Every region has bolstered themselves, but only the best move on. Aurora has proved themselves. The question is, who's going to be joining them? Is it going to be Aurora Turkey, their brothers from across the seas, TLPH, AE, Team Spirit, and of course, SRG waiting at the very end.
You know what? Looking at the lower bracket, that's all champions. The finest from Turkey, the Filipinos champions, and of course the people's champions in Alter Ego, and of course the Dragons of the North, ECA's finest, Team Spirit. You'll see them all in action tomorrow.
We will be starting at 3 o'clock GMT plus 7. So make sure you mark your calendars and your timers perfectly. 2 more teams will be saying goodbye. 2 more teams will be advancing in the hell that is the lower bracket. I will stand with my statement before we headed into the knockouts. This is the most grueling, most competitive and craziest lower bracket that we've seen. Last hammers, put them up, ready up real quick. Overall, with how the bracket looks in the matches we've seen, is this the most competitive M series? That is a unanimous yes. The quality of matches. Real quick before we go, any last quick words from Gideon and Leo?
Well, honestly, I think I'm very happy to see the development of Mobile Legends esports to this level after watching since M1 to now. God, it feels good to feel what these players are doing on that stage rather than just being entertained and in awe of them.
I'm barely over what happened tonight, but tomorrow saying goodbye to one of those champions is going to be more difficult. Folks, we all better prepare.
On behalf of everyone involved with the broadcast today, Mirko, Naisu, Trex, Gani, of course, Rose and Eternal, our hosts, Leo, Gideon here, Renmar, good night, good fight. We will see you tomorrow.